3, 2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome to the Block Update. It is episode 80. My name is... No, that's not how we do the introductions.
No, that's not how we do it at all.
No, I'm joined as usual by Slack Lizard, affectionately known by his mother as Jonathan. And my name is Foxy No-Tail, affectionately known by my mother as I can't hear you from another room.
Yep, that's it. You know, I don't know if you intended for that to come through broken up, but that's exactly how it comes through. Yep, just perfectly like that.
Yeah, my kids do that now, and I say exactly the same thing to them. So they'll shout me from upstairs or the toilet or somewhere, and you're like, I can't hear you from another room. Come here and tell me. If you want to tell me something, come here. So, yeah, I totally understand why my mum used to say that to me a lot. Anyway, before we start the show, as usual, I'd like to remind people that we are supported by Patreon, and we would like to thank 53 amazing patrons, including our Minecraft 2.0 top-tier patrons who are, according to the thingy, of all repaid this month. James Carter, Stitch Fix, and The Praetor. So thank you very, very much. If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/the block update. The prices are per podcast for as little as $1 per podcast, and the minimum perks you will get are access to our patron-only feed for bonus content when we record it, which we record every single week now. This week, we talked about poor old Toretto having to go to the vets for a bit of kennel cough, and I went into a lot of detail, without any spoilers, about Starfield and the fun times that we've had with that. You also get access to our Patreon-only Discord channels and a Discord role Slack, don't you, bud?
So you mean that you steal everything in that game?
Yeah, that's not a spoiler. I steal anything in every game.
Do you know where my tool chest went on TB by chance?
What's the feedback this week, Slack?
No, the feedback. Oh, I see how this just changed the subject. Right. First off, we got the mic, and they say, I love the bits of the podcast that reminisce about the days gone by on TB. Great fun thinking about Johnny in the old days. Jeez.
Yeah, it is fun to reminisce and look back on it. And unfortunately, I don't have a memory like Slack. Slack, you remember everything we've done, and you're always reminding me of things we've done. And as soon as I'm reminding them, I'm like, oh, yeah. But I just don't remember off the top of my head.
It's okay, princess. It's okay, princess.
Wow. Okay. Irish Viking says, great podcast. I am the right one, am I? Yes. Thanks for the info on putting things on screen with an add-on regarding the totally unrelated info that wasn't for the question about re-enabling achievements. The level.dat method works best if you have entities or villagers. The other method works great if you don't. I might have sneakily done this when a creeper explosion that was in water blew up a zombie spawner for my family realm. Last thing, in regards to the lack of video views, I wonder if at least for you, Foxy, some of it's because you've been finding it hard to tell a story in your video again. Lore seems to be a really big thing nowadays. Yeah, it does. A lot of people on Minecraft are telling stories these days. Obviously, Minecraft are really hot on people telling stories because that's what the whole thing was about last year with the big update, Minecraft Live, going about expressing yourself and telling your stories. There is some of that, but Slack, what am I going to say next?
I don't know. My mind's on a story that I can't tell, and I really want to tell it.
Every time I make a story-based video, every single time, they do about as well as my Starfield montages. My core audience watches them. Yeah. My core audience really enjoys them, and they beg for them. They ask for them. Or when are we going to get another Mr. Onion video? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And I do really enjoy doing them. But they make my channel implode because every bad video has a knock-on effect on the next video. So you put out a bad video, and YouTube goes, not many of your regular subscribers clicked on that. So therefore we haven't recommended it to many people. And then the next time you make a video, even if it's a good video, the YouTube was like, basically imagine it like charging your battery. So your battery level's gone down a bit. YouTube are going, okay, the next video, oh yeah, more of his regular viewers are watching it, but because the last one didn't do so well, we're going to limit how many people we recommend this to. And then you have to slowly build up and up and up and up. And you get up and you suddenly get in, they call it 1 out of 10s. Basically, it's the best one out of the last 10 videos you made. You get in them, and then because you've started putting out some good ones, it starts coming down again. And it's a never-ending cycle of that. So I try my best to avoid making videos that I know are going to implode my channel because I need it to grow. And at the moment, particularly, it really is struggling. Like views on my channel wide are really struggling, which is why I just thought, oh, I'll put this Starfield montage out. What can possibly go wrong? Starfield's big, it's new, it might do well, it might not. So yeah, maybe I'll start making some story videos again. I have thought about going back to sort of square one, really. And I even this week and for the next 2 weeks, there's going to be videos of me going out playing with Oliver. We did some videos together. He's been wanting to record with me for ages. And I've been putting it off because he was a bit young. And Jack was 7 when I started doing videos with him, but he was a lot more mature than Oliver is at his age. Oliver's 9 now, and Oliver still just wants to kill me all the time and steal my stuff, which is fine. But it's very difficult to make an entertaining video around that when like Oliver's like, I want to do this and I want to do that. What do you want to do in this video today, Oliver? I want to go and kill the Ender Dragon. What, in survival? Yeah, that's going to take us hours. Oh, is it? Yeah, so you start, and then within 5 minutes he's bored, you know? So he's only just get to that point where he's got the attention span to really do it. And we did do these 3 videos, although the third one we had to redo because it went off the rails a little bit, really. So yeah, I think going back to square one and starting doing a few more storyliney things, starting to express myself a little bit more as my character in my videos again might be a good thing, but I really don't know where to start because it's been a long time since I've done anything like that.
And then you storyline stuff and collabs with him are very interesting. I'm just saying, from a person who's done several of them with him in the past, he gets real touchy real quick.
Who, me?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my favorite was when we did the whole back in time one. That one was fun, but man, you talking about somebody getting stressed out. Gets a little stressed out.
Yeah,
he's like, look, Slack, I love you. We're good friends. Shut up. I need to think.
Yeah, but you know, back then I had 4 PCs, all different, running different versions. I had like 3 controllers on my desk, a phone, an iPad, and my thing. And I'm trying to put this camera there, that camera there. Remember what we've got to say. Remember the story. None of it's written down. It's all in my head. Get us in the right place. I'm writing it. I'm directing it. I'm doing the. I'm being the cameraman all at the same time. And obviously you're waiting around for me to do the next thing, just having a chit chat as you do. And I'm like, I can't. I need quiet.
That's taking time in our friendship. Now he's like, I just need a minute. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
just mute my mic.
You know now, don't you?
Just
like, I'm just going to mute you for a second. Yeah, no worries.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like doing story on Truly Bedrock's fun when we all to get together and do something. But one of the biggest problems with that is a big group and everyone's got an opinion. So you start out with what you think is a good idea as a story, and it's just ends up getting rewritten, flattened, the jokes get removed and changed with things that you don't find funny, and all of a sudden you lose your sort of enthusiasm to do that. So you end up just with this really vague sort of, we know what direction we're going to go in, but all of the direction's missing, and it just doesn't have that flow that I used to enjoy of like when we did the back in time thing, where I knew every single clip that I wanted. I knew exactly how it was going to go. I knew where we needed to be and what we needed to do because I'd written it all in my head the night before. And you just can't do that with a big group. We don't
need roads.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'd already like planned out how the visual effects were going to go. And when you've got a big group of people, like ideally, like Truly Bedrock, we've got all these people that like telling stories, but
it's a disaster getting us all together.
Yeah,
it's a disaster. You think it's bad with just me and him over talking to each other? Add 8 or 9 other people in there.
And we have had some good story moments on Truly Bedrock. We've had some really good ones, but it is really hard trying to get anybody energized to do the same thing because everyone's like, well, I don't think we should do that. I want to do this. Well, I don't think we should do that. Well, what about this? Well, I can't do that because I've done this in my video. And you just...
I think the storyline stuff was good, especially near the end of season 1 and season 2. I think that worked really good. Season 3, I don't even remember if there was a story anymore.
I did my book at the end of season 3. Do you remember? I took myself off and wrote a book, wrote an audio book.
Well, at the end of season 3, I went my own way too.
Yeah. So I did tie the book in so it kind of worked with what everyone else was doing. But I was like, it's so much of a mess what we've all decided how, because throughout that season, we had 4 or 5 different versions of how the season was going to end or what was going to happen, or Alice has done this, or Zoe's going to do that, or this And then all of a sudden, no, this person hasn't been in it. They've been there all the time. And it just kept changing. So I was like, no, I'm doing my own thing. I'm writing my story. You guys do what you want to do.
Now that I really sit and think about it, the seasons that I loved the most were the ones that we did have story in it. Granted, I wasn't always in the line of the story constantly.
No.
But those were the seasons. Well, then again, I got blamed for the moon and the rockets and everything else. So I guess at the point I was kind of in the core of them. But then like season 3, it just...
Too many cooks and too many ideas and too many...
Yeah.
What happens is you go from a small group that's got similar ideas and they're all because it was new. Yeah, we'll follow you because you sound like you know what you're doing. Okay, then everyone's following you, and that's great because you can come up with the ideas, and people go, "Yeah, we'll do that." That's absolutely fine, and they might add their little twist to it here and there, but generally speaking, they don't know what they're doing, so they're looking to you. But as time goes on, the group gets bigger. They have more confidence in putting their own ideas forward, and all of a sudden, that muddies the water for the ideas as a whole. And now, I'm not saying my ideas were great, and we should have all followed my ideas from the start. That's not what I'm saying. Just saying, if you have one person coming up with writing the story, then and everyone's on board with that, it's clean.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the best story that could be written. Whereas if all of a sudden you've got 20 people writing the story, it just becomes a mess.
Yeah, so, that's what happened with season 3. And I'm not calling no names. I'm just saying what it is. It started off, person A was doing the storyline, then person B took over, then person C, and then person A went back. And that's when it just got so muddled. It broke continuity, I guess.
So people started doing their own story bits. Like Tiz has his own storyline going on. Jesse had own storyline going on. Loy started doing his because we just didn't have that gel that we had in the first couple of seasons where it was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You know? Yeah. So I think that's probably why you started backing out of story stuff more regularly. It
got confusing.
And then I did.
It got utterly confusing.
Yeah. So, it would be nice to go back to doing that on a small scale. Anyway, I think we've beaten this feedback to death.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even get to even hint at the story that I wanted to tell there.
Oh, go on.
Because I know nothing about a spawner ever getting blown up and being fixed.
Moving on.
Jade is up next and says, I completely agree with Foxy. I want redstone that sticks to walls and ceilings. Well, guess what, Jade? It's not happening.
Oh, Slack, come on. No. Jeez. All right, then. Fine. Hi, the Knight says, Foxy and Slack, when you said no to the different flowers for iron golems and changed it to no poppies altogether, I realised that I much prefer that over having different flowers. Way to make a wishlist item and tweaking it. There you go.
Good job.
Good. Glad you agree rather than getting upset at the fact that we went the other way.
Just do away with the flowers. Yep.
Yeah.
Rotated Outface is up next and says, no such thing as a stupid idea. Challenge accepted. What do you mean there's no stupid thing as a stupid idea?
That's what I said last week. There's no such thing as a stupid idea. There is. I mean, an idea can be stupid.
Yeah, there is. Redstone going up walls.
No, but it's like there's no such thing as a stupid question. A stupid question is only stupid if you know the answer. And a stupid idea is only stupid if you think that if your opinion's different. It's not stupid to the person that asked it. So ask your question. Yeah. Ask your question. Jeez. Yeah. Rotated Outface again, saying, an observation triggered by the discussion about breeding parrots. Isn't it odd that the achievement for breeding every mob is called the parrots and the bats, but neither of those mobs are breedable? Just saying. I think that's Mojang's sense of irony playing out there. I think that's the joke, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree on that. Muffin's up next and says, I agree with Foxy about hoppers pointing upwards. I have so many places where I'd love to use that. Yeah. We didn't agree that was a good idea?
Yeah, I think it went in the good ideas bin. Yeah. Gabberty with a long one. In episode 79, you asked for a bit more context about my wishlist item for a floating block. I recently built a kelp farm. While I was underwater, I was on conduit power, so never had to come up for air. And while I was doing a lot of counting and math to determine the dimensions of my build foundation, it would be nice to be able to stand at the bottom and build from the top down by sending a series of blocks floating up. Would have saved a bunch of time. I don't believe you can place a lily pad while at the bottom and have it appear at the surface. Am I wrong about this? Also, this could be helpful in the event you find a shipwreck with a treasure map in it, only to find the treasure is inaccessible at the time, too deep, too dangerous, etc. Float a buoy on the surface as a marker and come back to it later without having to relocate the treasure. The lily pad, while a possibility, still forces the player to resurface, which can often break the flow of creative juices and can force one to do math again upon resubmerging. Hope that helps gain entry into the good idea. Thoughts? Yeah, it's kind of like you want something almost like scaffolding, don't you? Where you can place scaffolding down, which you could place underwater and measure it that way, but you don't know if you're at the bottom. You don't necessarily know if that scaffolding's then sticking out the top of the water. So
there you go. You gave him the answer. It's good. I like it. Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
I don't think it's good ideas being with it. I don't think we need that really. I think there's such a small. Obviously you're gonna find that useful, but I think realistically there's such a small number of people that would actually find that useful. Like your shipwreck thing with the buried treasure, you've got a map. It gives you a map. You don't need to put a marker there because you've got a map. You can go back and find it. And if not, if you're not going to get it at that point, you're coming out of the water anyway. So just go and put a block there. So. Yeah, I'm sorry. It ain't good ideas, Bin, unfortunately.
No, rubbish. Right. Gamma Ray 66 is up next and says, Slack, thanks for the tip on using structure for getting block counts for creative builds. Super helpful advice. Well, I'm glad you found it useful.
Good. Muffin says, someone last week had wanted to have an easy way for hidden doors. I have a tip. If you have Foxy's mini block on your world, you can place them and make large-sized, and you're able to walk through them. I've used this for hidden walkways a few times. Yeah, that works with the entity version of my mini blocks pack, but it's not vanilla, and it's a bit cheaty.
Still fun, though.
Yeah, it is fun.
Purple Hoser is up next and says, okay, guys, hear me out. See, when they start with hear me out, that just already puts me in a... All right, anyways, we all send different kinds of root beer to a P.O. box, like half hour from Foxy's house, and then he can sample American root beer. Not sure if the guys in Europe have P.O. boxes, but it'd be a cool... No.
Why half an hour? Why I got to go half an hour to a P.O. box? I'm going to have a P.O. box. Surely you just have it close.
Yeah, don't send food.
P.O. boxes, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but a P.O. box in the UK, if you pay for a P.O. box, you're not actually buying somewhere that somebody can put stuff in. It's just a fake address. It's like having a second IP address to your house. If you register for a P.O. box, the stuff still comes to your house. You just don't give your address to people. You give the P.O. box address to people.
Actually, see, no, a P.O. box here is not coming to your house. You have to go to the post office in a building to get it.
Oh, really?
Okay. Total anonymity with that, yeah.
There's different companies here that do it, so some probably work like that. But I'm pretty sure most PO boxes is just like a fake address to your address. Pretty sure. But yeah, if someone I knew like Slack was to send me root beer in the post, I would drink it. But if I got food or anything consumable from anybody I don't know, it would go. No offense, guys. I'm sure you have the best intentions, but it would go straight in the bin.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's very select few people that I'm gonna open up something that's food or beverage. No,
yeah, because I no idea. No, sorry, but I don't know you. The other thing is like there was a lot of feedback on that. Apparently, someone pointed out in the feedback that you could get a PO box for as little as £10 a month. Well, that's £10 a month to sit on having a fake address. Who's sending me stuff? No one wants to send me anything.
More than that over here. Depends on the size of the PO box you want too.
Yeah, well, if yours are physical, then it will be. But if this is just basically mail rediverting, then that would explain because I think Royal Mail charge about £40 a month. When obviously they're like the main ones, but I think this other one was like 10. But still, I'm not going to. I could get Netflix for that. I cancel Netflix to save £10 a month. I don't want to spend £10 a month just in case someone might at some point in their lives want to send me something. If you really, really desperately want to send me something, let me know and we'll figure something out. But if you just want to send me root beer, then send it to Slack and he can send me it. He can sample it, make sure it's not poison, and then he can send me it. Okay? Good deal.
Okay. Yeah, welcome to my house.
I think it's me next, is it? Yeah. Cricket the Wise. Hello there, my friends. Just wanted to thank you all for the entertainment and insights into this block of a podcast. Your talents and treasures are your talents are treasures to this community. Looking forward to many more episodes. Thank you very much, and hopefully, yes, we will have many more episodes to come.
Yep, hopefully. Brood591 is up next and says, hi, Foxy and Slack. I apologize. I'm a few shows behind. I had wished for a better way to get allays to stay in place, and you mentioned putting a block over a note block. Allays will not lock onto the note block that has a block over it. It needs to make a sound.
That sounds like a bug.
Yeah, that sounds like a bug because,
I'm pretty sure like most of the like Java edition tutorials potentially that I saw. I don't know. I really didn't. But when that first came out, that's how people were doing it. They're putting a note block
because
around with some hoppers around it and the block on.
Yeah, because otherwise they would throw the item directly on top of the note block.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it can. Well, if it doesn't work on Bedrock or Java, depending on which one you're playing on, I'm pretty sure that's a bug.
Yeah.
Okay, Rotate Our Face is back again, saying, I see another suggestion from the Good Ideas bin has now been implemented into the game. As of the latest Java snapshot, cartographer villagers now sell maps to more places, including other biome villages, witch huts, and jungle temples. We'll get to that in the news. But yes, Maihck, again, reading the Good Ideas bin. As we said, we guarantee each of those good ideas will make it into the game, and you can see proof, which is why you need to keep those wishlist ideas coming in.
Indeed. Squirrel List is with the last one here with a suggestion. Says, update the website Good Idea bins when this happens with the stable version number in which the good idea was implemented. I'm assuming that isn't already being done. Haven't checked. Wait, you want us to go back and every time that one of the good ideas that gets suggested gets put into the game, we're supposed to go back and edit those and say this is what version it was put in?
Is that what I thought they were saying when I put a good idea into the good ideas bin on the website? Just write down what version of the game we're currently in when that good idea goes in.
I don't know. Need more clarification.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, update the good ideas bin when this happens with the stable. No.
Too much work.
Nope.
Don't get paid enough for that. We're going to have to make it into 5 digits of payment before that's an option. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and then get someone else to do it because I'm not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to leave us feedback, you can do by filling in the feedback form on our website, which is theblockupdate.com, or joining our Discord. Links for both of those are in the description below. Slack, it's big news week. We have more community splitting news to talk about, as I'm sure everyone's more than aware. We're going to start with the Java Edition changelog, which details all of the changes that we're going to be talking about. So, Java Edition has 1.20.2 pre-release 1, and in that, they've done the recipe book changes like they did in Bedrock, so it'll only search for the first 3 letters of each word rather than halfway through the word thing, which I watched Exuma's video on that, and it kind of does look like it makes sense, but the idea that new players will be overwhelmed by the number of recipes and this will help people that have played the game, I don't agree. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think people were struggling with that. I really don't. The data pack version has been updated with a few other things to go on there, and they've even removed some command functions from something or other that doesn't make sense. But here's the big stuff. The Villager Trade Rebalance Part 2. So,
do you remember the nerf update Part 2?
Well, not so long ago, they did the Villager Trade Rebalance Part 1, and in that, they asked for feedback, and a lot of people had a lot of feedback. And the good news is, Slack, that all of that feedback has been listened to, and those changes have been made. They had no changes to the first one. Librarians, still the same. They have made no alterations to it at all. But they have now released another big part to this, and I think by the sounds of things, more big parts to this are coming. Villagers are getting nerfed left, right, and center, unless you're a cartographer, which has actually had some very, very nice changes to it. Cartographers will now sell 7 maps, including the Desert Village map, a Jungle Explorer map, a Plains Village map, a Savannah Village map, a Snow Village map, a Swamp Explorer map, and a Taiga Village map. And good news, peeps, there's an incredibly easy and intuitive way to know which maps each one sells. All you have to do is memorize this diagram. Did you see the video I put on Twitter, the meme, the Guardians of the Galaxy meme I did? I
feel like I've missed something. Yeah, no.
I took a meme. I took a clip from the latest Guardians of the Galaxy film, which is basically It's very silly, but basically they're all in these different coloured spacesuits, and one of them presses like the blue, thinking he's talking to the person in the blue suit, but they're all hearing each other, and the other one points out later on, like no, red is for green, yellow is for blue, red is for orange, and the guy's like, what? How am I supposed to know that? And the guy that I put like, oh, you're the developer. Well, it just seems intuitive. This is intuitive, apparently.
No. No.
What a mess. So
no.
I love the idea of this. So if you go to, I actually like this. That diagram, the diagram just like, this is when people that are way too technically minded think they're talking to human beings, but they're not. They're just the robots coming out of them, and they're just not on anyone else's level other than their own. That is just total nonsense. Hot, cold, wet, dry. What are you talking about? Forget that. Right. It's basically what they're doing is they've made it so you can get jungle explorer maps, which will take you to a jungle temple, a desert maps that will take you to, oh no, it's not a desert temple, is it? I'm sure there was another one for another structure. Oh, there's the witch hut map, won't they? The swamp map.
Yeah, that comes from the jungle villager.
Yeah.
Looks like.
So depending again which biome you're in, will depend on what maps cartographers will sell. So this is a really good way. I really like this. This is a really good way of finding out where other villages are, and particularly in other biomes. So let's say you found yourself a savannah village and you go get a cartographer. They might give you a desert village map or a plains village map or a jungle explorer map. So they might give you a map to a jungle temple or a map to a desert village or a plains village. And then you know that there are other villages in the game. So I really like that idea that you're actually getting maps to other villages. I think that's great. The sad thing is, according to Silent Whispers video that was in Java Edition and not Bedrock, was that it doesn't matter how many cartographers from that one village you've got, they will all sell you the exact same map to that village. So let's say you're in a savannah and you've got 10 cartographers and each one of them gives you a desert village map option. They will all go to the exact same desert village. So there's problems with it, which means you're never going to find millions. But the idea is that they all link together in this incredibly elaborate, crazy way, which just really doesn't make sense. What would have been simpler in my mind is that they would just it would just be random. Just, here's one to a village that's not this one, you know?
Yeah.
Here's a map to a different village that's not this one. It's simple.
That seems too simple.
But this just is massively overcomplicated it. And I guess it makes sense because if you're in a hot village, it's going to take you to something that's also hot or something that's temperate. And if you're in a cold village, it's going to take you something that's also cold or temperate. So that you can't go from a snowy village and get a map for a desert village because you're going from cold to hot climates. That kind of makes sense, but it's too complicated. Why? When you're trying to make a game that's intuitive for new players and old players alike, keep it simple, stupid. KISS is that age-old thing. If you go to a cartographer village and he opens up a village trade, village map, then just have it to any village that's not the one you're in. Fine, done. Jobs are good. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Whew. So yeah. I'm really glad about that. Cartographers definitely needed some love. I really like the way they've done it. I think it's too complicated, but I'm not complaining about it. I'm happy that that's in the game. Okay? Good. You happy with it, Slack? Happy that that's there?
Yeah, I think it'd be useful in like solo, single player worlds, but multiplayer servers, oh yeah, I'm going to get a map to a village and I'm going to go there and
someone's already got it.
Already destroyed it. Yeah.
Well, none of this update really does sit well with multiplayer servers unless you are playing on a very, very community-based multiplayer server and you trust everyone on it. It's no good for things like factions. It's no good for PvP stuff. It's no good for people that don't know each other, that don't want to work together and just want to play on a world with other people. Because all of this exploration stuff is fine, but when there are a limited number of structures, a limited number of witch huts, a limited number of jungle temples, a limited number of villages, and you're saying to each player, you've got to go to all these different villages and structures and things to find these things, there just aren't enough of them in that world. And considering on both versions how quickly the world size can inflate and lag down the game, Let's not even talk about the fact that maps on Bedrock Edition are a massive issue. You know, just the multiplayer side of it, just sharing those resources is now a problem. And that's going to be even more of a problem with the changes they're making to the armorer. Now, we're going to go through these, but before we do, I think you've got to imagine if they're doing this, they've done the librarian, the cartographer, and the armorer, this is going to be happening to the other ones as well. The weaponsmith's going to get massively nerfed. The toolsmith's going to get massively nerfed.
Yep.
And the armorsmith has been massively nerfed. So before... Master trades would give you basically diamond armor with really good enchantments. You could get like Unbreaking 3 stuff on there. You could get Mending on there. You could get Protection 4. That's not going to happen anymore. So most master level armorers will buy iron blocks, which is nice. You can now trade in iron blocks for emeralds rather than iron ingots, which is a bit of a shame because before you could, well, they do actually have the iron ingot trade. 5 iron ingots for 1 emerald. But if you look, let's look at this picture here. 1 iron block for 4 emeralds. So that's pretty good. You can get more emeralds for iron. Chainmail armor is exclusively sold by the secret jungle and swamp armorers. So you'll have to make a village in those areas to get chainmail, which is fine because no one wants chainmail anyway. What's the point? Savannah armorer sells cursed diamond armor at reduced prices. So they've basically tied this in with that villager trade thing because the Savannah villagers, librarians, didn't have any trades that suited armor. So they basically stuck with curse and binding. And then the Taiga armor can swap 1 piece of diamond armor for another, which is an interesting idea as well. So a couple of things that they've done here is they've actually made it so that different types of armor will appear at different types of villages. So in a desert, you will get iron with thorns enchantment, and then you'll get diamond chestplate or diamond leggings for the cost of diamonds as well. So you have to pay diamonds for the armor as well now, with thorns as well. So they're not going to come with random enchantments, so we'll only have thorns on.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that it costs diamonds as well. Man, that even takes it to a new level of nerf.
Yeah. Let's skip the jungle because that's just chainmail, but you can get unbreaking chainmail or projectile protection or feather falling on your boots from that. So, great if you want feather falling and chainmail boots. In the plains, you can get iron again with protection 1. And for the master, you will get trousers or diamond boots, diamond leggings or diamond boots, again for diamonds and with protection 1 on. So already, you don't need any of this. You're just going to be taking that diamonds, you're getting your grindstone out and taking those enchantments off there because they're totally pointless. So notice here, the desert will give you a chest plate or leggings, but the plains will give you leggings or boots. You can't get a helmet and you can't get a chest plate at those ones. If you want a helmet, you need to go to either the savannah or the snow biome, and the helmet will have curse of binding on it, which you can't remove from a grindstone. So you will have to go to a snow biome in order to get a helmet that doesn't have curse of binding on it. And you'll get Frostwalker on your boots and Aqua Affinity on your helmet. And if you go to a Taiga, you will get a full set, the expert Taiga one. So everyone's going to want a Taiga village. Full set of just, oh no, this is the swap, isn't it? So forget that. Boots for trousers for chestplate, helmet for boots, or chestplate for helmet. But
that's the Tiger. Yeah, that's the Tiger.
Yeah, they will give you blast protection on your chestplate or your leggings. And they will also trade in a diamond block for 42 emeralds, which means you have a much better chance of buying emeralds from these now, because before it used to be 1 diamond for 1 emerald from villagers, and now you get 9 diamonds for 42 emeralds. So if you're desperate for emeralds, you can buy them if you have a massive amount of diamonds to spend. So again, a lot to remember. It's not exactly intuitive, but I guess we're going to learn this stuff. And realistically, you're going to be just taking your grindstone to those anyway, unless you want mending iron armor. Now, this wouldn't be too bad, in my opinion, if you could use like the smithing table to upgrade chainmail armor or iron armor to diamond by adding diamonds to it, like you can netherite, right? That wouldn't be too much of a problem, because then if you wanted a pair of mending boots, you could get them from a swamp with chainmail, throw some diamonds on there on the thingy, and then you've got diamond mending boots.
That can be fair, but
yeah, that would work for me, but we can't do that. That doesn't work. So Yeah, there's some interesting things going on here. But in order to make the other books and things more available, and ancient cities will now have a high chance of generating mending books. Mine shafts will have a high chance of generating efficiency 1 to 4 books. Pillager outposts will have a high chance of generating quick charge 1 to 3 books. And desert temples and jungle temples will have a high chance of generating unbreaking 1 to 3 books. So there will be more books available in the overworld if you go looking for them. But again, it just means that all of a sudden, everywhere is going to be raided really quickly early on in the world. The easy stuff to get is going to be like all the desert temples, all the jungle temples, they're going to be gone before anyone's even had a chance to punch a tree down, depending on who you're playing with. I just don't think this is good for multiplayer. I really don't.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't hate these changes they're making to villagers. I think
I don't either, but it's a big step back all at once.
It is. It's what I find difficult is that they're basically looking at the game. The developers are looking at the game and going, the game isn't balanced. There's a problem with the balance in the game. People have got too high powered armor. And I bet next week or the week after we'll be looking at this with the weaponsmith and toolsmith. Too high-powered tool, too many diamonds, etc., or too easy access to books and stuff. Rather than balancing the game by adding new features and changing gameplay that's additive to the game, they're now doing subtractive stuff and taking stuff away. And I don't think any game has ever benefited from having things taken away, because it doesn't matter what you do, even if 50% of the players like it, that means 50% of the players don't. Whereas when you're doing additive stuff, when you're adding to the gameplay to balance it, you've got a much more higher chance of people liking it because people like new stuff. How many games have been out there? Like, what was it? Diablo 4. Diablo 4, when it got its first patch, nerfed a load of the characters and everyone went absolutely crazy. You can't, as developers, take things away from people, especially people that have been playing for a long time and get the game and understand the game and have a way of playing the game, and expect people to stick around. So they really are, in my opinion, taking massive, massive risks doing this Villager update. I think they need a new. Personally, I would be seriously looking at what we can do to as an additive approach to balance the game, rather than, okay, if players have got too many diamonds, if they've got too much high-powered armor, too much high-powered enchantments, add more enchantments, add more levels to it, but then make mobs harder, or add new mobs in that are harder, add new mob variants that are harder, add a new boss, add another way to spend your diamonds, add more rather than take away. Because you can balance, if people have got too many diamonds, you can balance that by giving people a way to spend it. And that's not by going, okay, it's going to cost you 7 diamonds to duplicate this trim. You say, okay, it's going to cost you 1 diamond to duplicate this trim, but we're also, next update, adding this, which you can spend your diamonds on. And the next update, we're adding this to spend your diamonds on. And you do it iteratively. So it's not just all of a sudden, oh, we're doing this massive big change and just going to upset loads of people all at once.
I kind of respect them for the fact that they haven't backpedaled on this yet. Especially considering they started with the librarians first and they got such negative review, and they haven't backpedaled yet.
No, they haven't. Yet. And they're also dumbing down on it with this one, because this goes hand in hand with that librarian thing. All of this, the enchantments that go in this with these armorers matches what's happening with the librarians. So they're not only not backpedaling, they're also dumbing down, saying, nope, that's the decision. That's the way forward. We're still going. We're pushing hard with this.
And I'm not opposed to that. Like, we're in season 2 of Slackville now, and I've been getting myself gear, and I haven't even touched librarians, and I'm getting my gear. But if you're going to tackle one aspect of the game, it feels like you need to tackle the other two. And the elephant is in the room is the enchanting station needs a rework.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need necessarily to be nerfed. Calm down, Toretto. Calm down.
Yeah, Toretto really doesn't like Villager rebalancing.
It needs, I don't know, make it where we can pay more experience, but give us better options at the end. Like, I went to enchant last night. I think it was a level 30 sword. And it literally only offered me looting 2. Are you kidding me? For 30 levels? Looting 2? Get out of here with that.
Add in efficiency 6, right? Make it expensive. Make it difficult to get, right? Mm-hmm. Then add in the fact that if you mine something like Deep Slate, it does more durability damage to your pickaxe because it's harder, right? So add in Unbreaking 4 to counter that. Add things to the game to balance it. Don't remove from the game. I really don't think it's a good idea. But people are liking it. There's plenty of people out there on Twitter and in the comments and stuff saying, "Hey, this is great. I really like it." I think a lot of those are a bit
naive.
No, not naive. A bit. Look at me, Maihck. I want to be in the next. I want to be in the next Minecon live pre-show. Look at me.
Yeah. I'll sell your update for you. Yeah. Well,
yeah. And I think some people genuinely do like it. I think it's fine because we've all said villagers are OP, but I think I just think there are. Rather than this is a drastic nerf. It's not just a little like a chip off the side. This is a massive, massive change, which is fine. We'll all get used to it, just like we did when they changed villagers from like indoors to beds and changed out. They've got professions and all that sort of stuff. We'll get used to it. It's fine, but I just think adding is better than taking away if you want to please everybody, or if you got more chance of pleasing everybody. Wow,
as a content creator and somebody who's been playing the game for a long time, I know there's other ways to get my stuff, so it doesn't bother me. You know, I'll go end raid. You know, now if they're going to keep, it's how far are they going to take this? Okay, so next are we going to rework treasure chest? Oh, you can't get diamonds out of those. Oh, you can't get a book out of those. Then are we going to nerf fishing? Because they've already nerfed fishing in Java. Yeah, Java doesn't even have the raid farm mechanics that we do with the books. You know, so.
The thing is, the other thing we don't know is it's getting close to that time of year where we're going to have Minecon Live or whatever it's called. Yeah. We don't know whether these changes are going to tie in with the plans they've got for the update. So they might be playing the long game of we're going to upset a lot of people, but then we're going to announce something and they're all going to be like, oh, it makes sense now. But we don't know that. We can hope for that. It's unlikely that they're doing that because why show us all of this now if they're not going to show us the bit that's actually going to make us happy? No, I can't imagine Maihck would intentionally upset people in order to then be like, hey, actually, you know. So, I don't know.
That's interesting.
But yeah, just remember this, Slack. Just remember that. We'll all remember that, won't we? It's,
I don't even want to see that. Get that off my. Get that. No, I don't want to see that.
For people that I'm not watching this, that are listening to this, it's basically a graph. There's a link to it in the changelog, Nenbomb's Twitter account.
No, let me explain this graph to you. Throw down a plate of spaghetti and throw down 5 or 6 meatballs and be like, okay, you go from spaghetti A to get to meatball B. And no, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
It's a plate of spaghetti with meatballs on it. Yep.
It is. That's all it is. It is. Or if you turn it on its side, it's some elytra. So there you go.
Wow, it is.
Right. That is it for the Java Edition changelog. As usual, there's a whole bunch of fixes, which we're not going to go through. If you want to know more about those, you can read the changelog for yourself. Description is in the thing. The next one it came out today, actually, 1.20.40.20 preview for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. And this one has also got the experimental Villager Rebalancing Part 2, which we're going to skip over because we've already read that one now. But this has also got a bunch of changes as well. It's got some audio changes, so the Ark Guardians and Elder Guardians will now make flopping sounds again when they're on land. Wither Skeletons now have their own unique sounds, and they've updated the sound that's played when a Wither Skeleton skull is placed on top of node blocks. Stray cats now play a sound when begging for food, which is great because cats didn't make enough annoying noises before, so I'm really glad they've got a new one.
Yeah, that's nice.
Bottles now emit sounds when filling from water blocks. Pouring water on potions from a glass bottle into a cauldron emits a appropriate sound. Filling a glass bottle with water or potion from a cauldron now emits the appropriate sound. And drinking from a glass bottle now emits the appropriate sound. I thought we already allowed drinking noise. Why have they changed that?
No, yeah, we did, unless they broke it in an update, which wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, that really should say how often you drink potions. I'm just saying.
Right. In terms of gameplay, Skulk blocks no longer drop XP when mined with Silk Touch, so there goes that nice little loophole we had there. Zombie Villager Clawing time is now randomized between 3 and 5 minutes to match Java Edition, so a little bit of parity there. So if you're wondering why your zombie villagers aren't all turning at the same time, it's because you can now wait for ages for that to happen, which is nice. Although, no, I think it was 5 minutes just standard before, wasn't it? So it could happen quicker, I guess.
Well, yeah, but now you have the problem where you need to separate them. Before, you could hit them at the same time, give them the apples, and they would change at the same time. Now, one's a villager, now he's a zombie again.
Yeah, exactly. Moving slowly on soul sand would sometimes cause the player to not receive the soul speed. Movement speed has been fixed, and there's some other interesting things here. Particularly, buckets can no longer pick up liquids for a few ticks after they've been placed. Now, you've been playing with this, Slack, haven't you? The idea here is, it's been a problem on Bedrock for a while, where you would go to either place or pick up water, but in the same tick, it would then spit it back out again or pick it up, depending on the action you've done. So you end up with starting with an empty bucket and ending with an empty bucket, but it's placed it and picked it straight back up, or vice versa. So this is to basically prevent that happening. So when you place water, you shouldn't be able to pick it straight back up again. It'll take a couple of ticks to happen to do that. So that should make it more consistent. But you were playing with this just before we started this, and you noticed some interesting things, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay, so the bug tracker report right there actually leads to a complaint, a bug listing that when somebody tries to MLG, more or less jump off something and do a water bucket save. And that's how the ticket got started. Pillar up, hold bucket, fall down. Well, Bedrock Edition and Java Edition don't exactly work the same in that regard. You more or less can't mess up an MLG on Bedrock unless you pick up the water again.
Yes.
You can jump, hold right click, and you're going to place it.
Yeah.
But they're complaining because you would pick it back up. In Java Edition, you have to right click like right at the right time to be able to land.
In Bedrock, you can just hold it. You've got to be really good at doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know Bedrock, why this has come out though, don't you?
Why's that?
Did you see the controversy about the video that Maihck put out on their Minecraft channel, on their YouTube channel?
No. What we got going on?
Well, they basically, I can't remember what the video was about, but basically there was a video of a player like jumping off a cliff, trying to do the MLG thing over and over and over again until he got it right. But it was in creative mode, never splashed in the water, never touched the water, placed the block of water from about 50 blocks away. You never saw that. It was such a weird video. Like, and they were just, so the comments were, why don't you just do it for real? Why cheat? If you're going to make a video about this, why are you just creative mode in it? Just do it.
No. But the delay, because I was curious because this could potentially break a lot of things, especially AKA the cheaty portal ticking gold farm.
Yeah, if you're using water instead of sand,
snow. Exactly.
not sand, snow.
Yeah. But it only seems to affect water without bounds. Okay, so if it turns into flowing water.
Yeah.
So you place down water and it goes out, in this diamond 7 blocks out or 8 blocks out. But like if you place that bucket and you try to immediately pick it back up, you can't.
No.
It has to wait for the water to update. But if it's in like a 1x1 hole, you can just sit there and just spam right click it. So it's weird. It feels like it's more improved, but at the same time, it's nerfed when just placing down just a bucket of water. I don't know. It may be all right. I was worried that it'd do the same thing with powdered snow, but honestly, I think it made powdered snow even better. I think you could even go faster with powdered snow now and a go ticking portal farm thing.
Yeah, it's a strange change, but yeah, hopefully it won't have too many negative effects. Okay, good news, peeps. Something we've all wanted from Java Edition for a long time. Falling from a great height while in a boat will no longer deal fall damage. However, go on, Slack.
We did have that. They took it away. It's nice to see that they reversed it back again.
They did. But then that is followed by fall damage is now absorbed by the entity that lands on the ground when mounted and passed on to the passengers if the mount dies. A boat is an entity. A boat has an amount of health. So my question is, so what that's saying is, if you're, let's say you're riding a horse, you jump off a cliff with a horse, it's high enough up to kill the horse, so then the fall damage will actually pass to the player as well and potentially kill the player.
Yeah.
If you're in a boat, is that going to happen? Is the boat going to die and then kill the player if you're high enough up?
Oh no,
That's what
I got to
wanna know.
reload the preview now.
I'm
literally reloading. I'm loading the preview right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'll finish off this. There's a couple more changes in graphical. Equipped enchanted armor now has an overall weaker glint. However, its intensity is more noticeably increases and decreases over time. So basically, it's more contrasty but less noticeable. Mobs no longer receive fall damage when falling into one block of a deep water pool. And rabbits can once again eat partially grown, fully grown carrot crops. I didn't know rabbits would damage your crops. I didn't know rabbits were crop griefers. Did you?
Yeah. That used to be a thing.
So sheeps that have been sheared previously and since growing the wool back will now drop wool on death again, and foxes can now pick up items that can be equipped, which we actually were testing that in the not this update, and that was working fine, weren't we?
Yep.
So there's a whole bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with all of the technical things and the scripting engine and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, the big changes coming. And notice, peeps, this is 1.20.40. So 1.20.20 didn't come out because it was still broken. That went into 1.20.30. 1.20.30, I would imagine, is going to be due in the next couple of weeks due to the fact that we are now working on 1.20.40. Unless they decide that one's too broken and they're going to put everyone into this one. But because there's been so many changes over these last few updates, when we get 1.20.30, it is going to feel somewhat like a different game because there's just been a crazy amount of things in there with the one player sleep and all of the changes to like the parity stuff that's gone in there, the crouching and the swimming and all of that sort of stuff. It's going to be crazy. So
very much so.
So have you found out, Slack?
Okay, the boat. I jumped from 128 blocks, put the boat on the boat still fine, nothing. So now I'm visiting a horse here.
Okay, right, okay. Well, that's pretty much it for the news, peeps. So I guess we'll just give Slack a couple of seconds to finish what he's doing, and then we'll get into the Bugdate. Lucy says, boats have more health than the wither, lol. They do seem to, don't they? They do.
Yep. Okay, so now I'm on a horse that has 9 hearts of health. I have no armor on, and I'm jumping from 64 blocks. The horse took no damage and I took no damage. Is that because I'm in peaceful?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Do you not take fall damage in peaceful?
No, surely not. I'm sure that's just they've broke it. Clearly, they broke fall damage again.
He took absolutely no fall damage, and so did I. And
Amazing.
I am in survival.
Oh, this is good news. I'll take this moment in time to remind you, if you are listening to this show live, we do this show live every Wednesday, although today's Thursday, but let's not talk about that. You can ask us a question by putting it into the live questions channel on the Discord, and I will add it to our list of questions to be answered at the end of the show. Don't forget, if you're not listening to this live and you would like to, then you can do by joining the Discord. And we do the bonus show live as well. So if you're not a patron, you can listen to it for free.
No, this is horrible. I just noticed there was a button to switch to the new UI.
No, let's get away from it, Slack, and let's go into the Bugdate. Close Minecraft. It's Bugdate time, and you're up first. Jeez.
No, okay.
Close the game, Slack. Close the game. Walk away.
I did.
Walk away.
Okay.
That was close.
Have you seen that? That's bad.
Yes, I have. I made tweets about it. It is bad. It's awful.
Irish Viking is up first and says, the bug fix in the newest beta created a worse bug. When you try to place boats on blocks under the water, the boat completely vanishes. Oh, good.
Yeah. So I had a similar problem with minecarts. So I was making, when I was talking about my train, my railway add-on that I was doing for the marketplace. So I basically cloned the minecart entity. I made a new entity and I made it a clone of a minecart. And minecarts are weird. Minecarts, although the physical hitbox that you punch to break it is where the minecart is, the actual hitbox of the minecart is below. It's at the bottom of the block that it's on. So if you try and place a clone of a minecart, because it's not an actual minecart, it will place inside the block that you've clicked on the top of. So you have to visually give it an animation or a geometry to make it a block higher than it actually is, because a minecart's actual physical presence is in the blocks underneath the track that it's on, which is really weird. And that came into when I was doing my my Java Edition parity add-on. I made an add-on for Java Edition entity cramming parity. And in that one, you can basically stack 24 minecarts, and then you start throwing entities in there and they start taking suffocation damage and die. Doesn't work in Bedrock because the minecart's collision box is actually in the floor. So, yeah, I think the boats suffer from the same thing. So when you try and place a boat, you're placing the boat, but technically the boat exists under the floor, which is really weird. I don't get it.
Jeez. That's great. That's really good. That's
makes
not
sense.
Broken at all.
A Manchu says, when oak saplings grow into trees, bee nests are appearing even though there are no flowers around. I'm playing in a flat world survival with no access to Silk Touch, yet nests are just getting in the way with the tree farm. I have to break the nest and run away from the angry bees. Oak saplings. Bee nests should grow on birch saplings, not oak saplings. And only if there's flowers around, right? As far as I'm concerned.
I swear I remember a change about this here a while back. And I noticed exactly this last night on Slackville Season 2. I planted a bunch of saplings and they were oak and I had beehives on them. Yep, with no flowers around.
That's got to be a bug. We need a bug report for that, Amanchu and Slack, please, because that needs fixing. Because there's no reason we shouldn't be having automatic tree farms. That's not something Mojang say you're not allowed to have. So if beehives are existing where they shouldn't be, that's breaking
I'm pretty sure that's a legitimate change that happened because I was experiencing that exact same problem when I was trying to work on the tree farm. Yep.
But it needs undoing. It's broken. That's not right.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, needs a bug report. Yep.
Jeez. Who's next?
Umechan?
Yeah.
Says, not sure if this is new or reoccurring, but I found that eating food as you reach the top of your bubble elevator makes you get stuck in the top block and suffocate until you break the block.
Why have you got a block above your bubble elevator? That's what's the problem.
What?
You've covered up your bubble elevator.
Yeah.
If there's no block there, you don't get stuck in it. It's quite good, really. Why is there a block above your bubble elevator?
I don't ask these questions.
Okay. We need more information there, Umechan. And the last Bugdate is from the Maihck, who says, I have a waterless bubble column on an SMP server. Adult sheep got in it and went up. Baby sheep followed and walked through it like it wasn't there. Huh.
Weird.
Baby sheep not affected by bubbles. Interesting. Okay, well, that is it from
you have no power here. Yep.
The Bugdate, unless you've got any bugs you want to share today, Slack.
No.
Okay, well, if you at home, you listening, that's not in the live show, want to share your bugs with us, then you can do by filling in the feedback form on the website or joining the Discord and letting us know there. And please do, if you can, link a bug report. We didn't get any this week, which means I can't put any of them on our website, which means I can't get people to click on them and link to them, which means they're not going to get outvoted. So you're telling us we're becoming aware of them, but we can't fix them. We need to fix them, guys. Jeez.
Yep.
Okay, the tip of the week this week is from Dorsal Dawn, who says monument tips. Prismarine bricks have a dowsing rod pattern that points north. West is on the left side when facing north. The third block diagonally from the northwest corner is the spawn spot to count from the next spawn spot. Skip 10, 15, 15, 9 between spawn spots. Use this pattern on the northwest sides and fill in the grid. I know, I won't remember that. Thank you, Dorsal. Write that down. Okay, Slack.
Yeah, when given a tip of the week, give one tip, not 17. That's my life tip of the week.
That was last week's last tip of the week. We'd had that. We remember we got that big book of
but they didn't
all these
listen.
different tips.
But they didn't listen.
But this is someone else. This is only
well,
one
they didn't
tip.
listen neither.
Well, that Dorsal's only given us one tip.
No. Okay.
We need. I'm
right.
sorry. You can't have a duplicate live tip of the week.
When you take your Yorkie to the vet and he gets a rabies shot, always stop and pick him up a plain hamburger on the way home.
Oh, yeah, Nelly likes plain hamburgers. Yeah, gotta get her a Mackey's if you're going to a Mackey's. Jeez.
Yep.
Okay, it is time for our week in Minecraft. Slack, what have you been up to in Minecraft this week, buddy?
When I've had the chance to play, I've been playing the new Slackville Season 2.
Ooh, what have you been doing?
Setting up a double spawner. But instead of like rushing and doing a million things, I've been taking my sweet time and making it look decent as I'm doing it, and just old school mining and enchanting and just having fun. Just getting back to the basics of just not rushing that, hey, I need to immediately get to the end of the game where I have everything. Like, I'm even doing silly stuff. Like, I'm going to regret this. I know I'm going to regret this, and you're going to laugh when I say this, but using like minecart chests to store items in and stuff like that.
Why would they laugh?
Because they're going to despawn. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they will. Or they'll fall on the floor. Just look in the block below them, Slack. So talk me through how you've decorated this this double spawner then. If you've been taking your sweet time, what's it look like? What's your block palette?
Furnaces.
Furnaces, okay.
Furnaces, oak, mixed with deep slate. Actually going in because it's kind of near a mine shaft, so I've been putting in structure beams on either side of it, and instead of just opening it up into a giant grand room, it's the spawners are, say, left and right of the player. Got them all coming down. They're going to trident killers, and everything's symmetrical, and it's just small and it's compact. And instead of just looking around seeing deep slate, it's just fill it all out. And I didn't have no blocks. It's early game. I'm digging out deep slate with an unenchanted pick, so it's just like, I don't have nothing but deep slate. What can I do with this? I got deep slate and I got oak. Hey, you can make a furnace. Yeah. Hey, the furnace has a nice texture, especially as a roof.
Yeah, the bottom of the furnace is nice. It is nice.
And so it's just breaking things up. And like, I'm not going to move on to something else till I'm done with this. So like, I've got that area now. Behind it, there's another portal set up because I need to go to the nether and get some quartz. But there's a little bit of a stairway down. I've been actually strip mining for diamonds just to have something to do. Got an enchanting room set up, and I still need to make a way underneath to all the storage, but like, I'm not going to move on from this project till I'm done with this project. Like, It doesn't mean that I'm going to make it insane, and I don't even care if it all ends up being furnaces and oak with just holding it all up, but I'm not going on to another project till I'm done with this one. So if that means I have to scale it down small to get it the way I want, fine. But it's going to be done, and then I'll move on to something else.
I like that attitude, Slack. That's a good attitude. So are you doing this in video streams? How are you recording this?
So I've been recording some random clips via first person. I've also got the laptop set up to the side. I would really love this follow camera option when it becomes a thing, because I don't want to just constantly do just first person of everything. Or, you know, I really like replay mod, and I love time lapses. I love voiceover time lapses. I love musical time lapses. I love them, and I just want more of them. But just a static still camera account, it just feels so boring.
Yeah,
it feels so boring. But I've got my camera account on the world. He's locked in the spectator because that's all he's there for. He's not there to play. He's not there to do nothing else. So I have been recording lots of stuff, like digging out the spawners, building stuff. And then it's like play for 30, 40 minutes, move the camera account to at least have it from a different angle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know how it's all going to edit together yet. I have absolutely no clue whatsoever on that. Don't know. But I've got a ton of footage, but I'm not done. Like, my ideal was to put out one episode a week, but I've decided to bend that ideal, and the episode will be done when the project is done.
Wow, okay. Okay, fair enough. What, like long episodes, Mr. Beardstone style, or just like however they come out?
I have no clue. However they come out. I'm not going to rush the content of that series to please YouTube.
No.
It'll come out when I'm ready for it to come out, and that's it.
Good.
I'm just, if I have to spend 2 weeks just working on that little spawner before I move on to the next thing, So be it. But I'm not going to, because with us doing all the other stuff that we're doing, got Wednesdays dedicated to the podcast more or less right now. Granted, we're doing it today on Thursday, but something came up. We've got Friday morning that we've got dedicated to our other series and stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
And now I've added another thing into my schedule that I'm setting into stone too. Mondays is tutorial day.
Oh, okay.
Mondays, me and T-Man now sit down, like how me and you have a set time we get together. I'm working. Dare I say the word? I'm working a schedule. I'm working the schedule.
It's not a schedule. It's like you're just turning up at the right place at the right time. It's not a schedule.
Okay. But it's like you're talking about with your views being down on YouTube. So are mine.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that always sells my channel. The biggest thing that always sells my channel is tutorials.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've been making videos now for what? Has it been about 4 years now? Something like that. When I first started recording Let's Plays, I was nervous and jittery. Now I can just hit record and I don't care. Why is it when I go to record a tutorial, I still feel like it's day one of me starting a Let's Play again?
I'm exactly the same. And it's because with a tutorial, you have to have your facts right. There's competition. Someone's going to say, well, that's not how so-and-so did it, or so-and-so did it better. Yep. So you're totally judging yourself the whole way through. So before you've even hit record, you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure. So, it doesn't matter whether you're going for the best whatever farm or the easiest whatever farm. At the end of the day, you've got to label that farm as something to make it stand out. Yep. You can't just go a reasonably decent kind of it's okay farm because no one's going to click on it. So by giving that a label before you even started, this either needs to be the most compact, it needs to be the easiest to get, it needs to be the biggest, it needs to be the fastest, it needs to be the most efficient, it needs to
be something that's not out there.
Yeah. It needs to have a selling point. And by doing that, you're putting yourself under pressure because all of a sudden you're under pressure to get the blocks right. You're under pressure to build it in the right order. Because when you build for a tutorial, even if you're doing it in creative, it's not the way you build it in survival. In survival, you go, no, I should have done that first, or I should have done that. And you could sit there and you could do like three versions of the tutorial, building it in different ways. And then, you realize, actually, if I'd have done this first, that would have been easier. And some people put loads of effort into tutorials and they'll do it layer by layer. Some people will do all the blocks first and then the redstone. Some people will do it this, that, and the other. I just when I'm doing mine, I just go, well, I'm building it here and I'm adding that there. I try not to think about it too much, but you need to make it watchable. So yeah, you've got all this pressure on you. So
yeah. But because I'm trying to stay consistent with those few things, like, it was a slow start, as the podcast. Even at the beginning of the podcast, I was pretty inconsistent.
Yeah.
But now I've gotten to the point where I am.
We all were.
And yeah, we all were. And it's like, even when we used to do our Friday things, there was times there where we were inconsistent. I can't make it this week, or you can't make it, or some reason we come up with something. I've had several times in the last few months, I would even say, or even since we've been doing it, where it's just like, man, I stayed up late. I don't feel like doing it. I'll just tell him I don't want to do it in the morning, or tell him something come up. But I haven't been.
No, you haven't.
I haven't been. It's like last week you're like, oh, you're actually here for the podcast. Yeah. Well, Jen said you went to bed. Yeah, but I haven't missed it. I may take a nap, but I haven't missed it.
No, you're doing well. Keep it up, because it is nice. It is nice when you do turn up when we've arranged to. And I know we're all guilty of it. We are all guilty of that. Like live streaming, I was going to go live 3 times this week and I haven't done. We're all guilty of it.
That's where I'm paying for it, though. I'm paying for it with my live streams right now. But I got to find that balance that works for me. And I don't know how I ever did it when I used to live stream every day and I used to record and edit every day. I don't know how I did it and kept my sanity, because now it's no. So it's like, I have plans to work myself into a schedule with live streaming too, and it'll be the opposite days of my work days.
It's how much passion you've got into do something. You'll be amazed how much more you can do when you're passionate about something. So like talking about Starfield, It's only been out. It's not even been out a week yet, and I've made 42 videos on it because I'm really enjoying it. If I enjoyed Minecraft to the level of, playing a new game constantly, I would have 52 videos a day going out on Minecraft. But we've played Minecraft so much now. We know what all the comments are going to say. We've got that issue in the back of our minds that, we've still got that you're not good enough because there's always someone out there that knows better. You've got that, I've done this a million times. I don't know how to improve it or can't be bothered to think about how to improve it. We've done it. Yep. So you need that passion in order to push that sort of content.
That's why I'm moving slow. And I'm not saying I won't do any mega builds, but I'm saying I'm not going to do them right now.
No.
I'm going to start small and I'm going to enjoy the devil in the details, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah. And I don't want anyone to take that in the way, you don't like Minecraft anymore. Why do you hate Minecraft? Why have you fallen out of Minecraft? It's not that. We've just been playing it for a long time. We know if we put a tutorial out, it can be the best that we know. And we know a lot about Minecraft. I would say that between me and Slack, we've forgotten more than most people know. And I'm not trying to be big-headed. Yeah. But there's always someone out there in the comments that does know more than us and puts us to shame and says, well, if you'd have done like this, and this. And when you get a comment like that, it doesn't matter how much you tried and how good you think your tutorial was when you made it, you've suddenly deflated. And that takes the edge off you doing the next one. That just knocks that little bit of passion off of doing the next one. And when you get enough of those...
You can get put in a bad mood quick, fast, in a hurry just from a random comment. Look at your phone and somebody commented, well, this is a stupid video.
Yeah. Or just like, well, you didn't think about this. And then you think, geez, you're right. I didn't think about that. And I've put this video out now and I was really confident about it. And now I'm not confident anymore because I forgot that. And that's going to taint the next video I do. It doesn't matter how good your tutorial is. You're always going to get those. You're going to get some people that think it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it's the ones that point out your flaws are the ones that you take to heart and the ones that make it difficult to go forward. And that sounds really defeatist because you could look at that and go, well, turn that into a positive, use that to push harder with your next one. But when you're doing it,
say then do.
Yeah, it's so hard to push through stuff that you've done a million times and it's, you don't have that drive or passion for it in the same way you would do with a brand new game. So that's like, doing the same job for 10 years and pushing papers in an office somewhere and someone says to you, you're not doing a very good job. You're not just going to suddenly turn around and go, well, I'm going to do it better then to prove you wrong. You're going to go, you're right, I'm not. I've been doing this 10 years. I didn't get that promotion. I'm still earning no money. I'm going to do as little as I could possibly do to get away with it. I'm going to keep in my mind, I need to do more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But realistically, I ain't going to get there. So it's just one of those things.
It is. It is.
Okay.
What about you? How's your week in Minecraft been?
Obviously, me and you did some more myth busting. We found out something horrendous, didn't we, Slack? I couldn't
that
believe...
video came out on my channel.
Yeah, mine's not out yet. I still can't get over that. I still cannot get over that. We found out purely by just looking at the documentation. We were working on do wolves give you XP when they? Do wolves drop XP when they kill a skeleton, and if it's tamed, it does. So then we went on to foxes with swords and things like that. We're looking at the fox behaviors. We're looking at what foxes attack, and there was rabbits, and then fish and salmon, which we found really odd, and then just on its own, baby turtles out of water. It will attack fish in water, but just out of water. Poor little defenseless baby turtle. Not adult turtles, just baby turtles. Foxes will attack them, and they'll kill them. Why? All of this preservation stuff about don't attack polar bears, don't kill dolphins, you monster. I'm not the one that coded in that foxes kill turtles. Oh, well, that's nature. That's nature. It's nature, is it? Right. Well, I don't want that in my game. Thank you very much. You can take your nature and you can shove it where the sun don't shine.
How about we move more away from realism? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I just can't believe I don't believe that'll happen in Java Edition. I mean, maybe it will, but that, I don't know, it's only a game. It's only pixels, and I've killed loads of stuff in Minecraft, and it's only a thing. But they can't beat the drum with one hand and then do something else with the other.
That's why I won't do nothing with wolves or, what is it, wolves or foxes, because they kill each other. No, I don't like that. No.
Hey, we'll put dolphins in the game. Also, here's a really sharp weapon, but don't kill the dolphins. We have made them really annoying, but don't kill them, because then you're a monster. Oh, by the way, watch that little baby turtle getting eaten.
Yeah. Seems legit. Yeah.
So that genuinely bothered me. That did. The other thing I've been doing is, so Oliver, he's 9 now, he's been asking me all summer, Dad, can we record a video? Dad, can we record a video? Dad, can we record a video? And I've been putting it off because we've recorded a few things over the years, and as I explained in a little bit in the bonus show, he's not quite at that maturity level to really have the attention span to see through what he wants to do. He's still very much, I get bored of this and then I just want to kill you and kill everything else. And he's nearly there, but he's not quite there. The other problem is he plays on his iPad or on the Xbox. He can't do keyboard and mouse or computer. So I can't set him up in a room with a microphone and like record him. He has to be somewhere where I've got a microphone. So the way we did it was we had him sat the other side of my desk on my armchair playing on the Xbox with my other microphone. The problem is, as you'll know from when you were over in the UK with Jen, you got 2 microphones in the same room and you're both talking at the same time. You suddenly get this weird echo on everything you say. So for 3 half-an-hour videos, I've had to go through, and every time that Oliver's not talking, I've had to cut my audio out so it doesn't have this awful reverb. But then when we overtalk each other, because you do in natural conversation, like he'll get hit by a skeleton while I'm talking or something will happen, then all of a sudden my voice goes really reverby and echoey because it's picking it up on 2 microphones. So when I've done it in the past, like when I used to play with Jack would be in a different room on a PC with a microphone plugged in, and I would be in this room, so we didn't have that problem, and we'd be talking to each other through Discord. But I can't do that with Oliver. So I could set him up in a different room, but then I'd have to, the only way I could record his audio would be to record it like on a separate audio. And I have got one. I've got it's called a Zoom something or other. So I could put a microphone into that and record it to an SD card and then upload that as his audio separately, which probably would work. But then I'm going to have problems like syncing it up and everything like that. So I don't know. That would probably be more easy than going through every single thing he said. And then obviously it picked up all of his key like controller clicking noises, and he moves away from the microphone because he's not really used to it, and he goes quiet and then he goes loud. So editing was a nightmare. But it was really good fun. We had a really great time. So he said he decided he wanted to do some challenges. Like me and you talked about challenges the other day, but that's different. So he decided he wanted to be the first one to get diamonds. And because I was winning, we changed it halfway through the video. The first one to get 4 diamonds, because then we'll get a special pair of diamond boots. And then the next we had to go to the nether and get netherite. So we started recording the third video was where we had to go to the nether. So I'd won the diamond one. And that meant that I had
spoilers,
a pair of diamond boots and a couple of like other bits and bobs. But he'd found 2 diamonds, but he didn't have enough for a diamond pickaxe. So I'd got a diamond pickaxe, and I was going through the nether and I was finding ancient debris. And obviously he's 9, and I'm trying really hard to find ways to slow my progress. But because I'm going off finding villages and doing silly things, he's messing about as well, and he's not making progress. So I'm trying to slow my progress down as much as possible without it being too obvious to him, to give him an opportunity. We got to this nether bit, and he'd had enough. I'm losing. I don't want to do it. So we sat down and we're like, okay, we'll scrap that video. We'll start it again. This time we'll make it more fair. You can we'll play a little bit along. You can steal the diamond pickaxe out of my chest that I've made, and then you'll be ahead of me. And so that we made this little bit up for the start, and he was really happy with that. And then as it turned out anyway, I just totally, I don't want to ruin the video, but I just had such a disaster in the nether anyway. I didn't need to give him a head start. I had my usual...
you in the nether?
Yeah. Early days, like an hour into a world in a bastion in the nether slack. Yeah, needless to say, I didn't need to give him that head start. So, but anyway, he really enjoyed it, and we had a great time, and we did run out of time. But it was quite hard work, and it was definitely hard work editing them just to fiddle about with the audio like that. It was. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain, but I want to do more of those. So I'm hoping they'll go down relatively well on my channel. People seem to enjoy it, but again, it's a little bit like doing storyline. It's the people that watch a lot of my videos.
Selective.
Yeah, they'll watch that, whereas you're not really going to get a great deal of new viewers from that. But yeah, it was good fun, and it was nice. It was like going back to the good old days 10 years ago, because Jack's 10 years older than Oliver, so it's like going back in time 10 years and playing with Jack like I did in my early videos. So yeah. Nice that he's at our age now. There we go.
Good deal.
Right. It is time to finish that section and go into the wish list. However, Slack, I think it's also fill up coffee time and have a little tinkle time.
Yep, 5-minute break time. Sounds good. Yep.
Back in a mo, Pete.
All right. Back in a minute.
Let's get into the wish list, Slack.
We got Maihck up first here.
Yes.
It says zombie villagers should have a randomized biome affiliation. This allows players to get jungle and swamp villagers even in single biome worlds.
I don't know anyone that plays single biome worlds anymore, especially not on Bedrock.
Super flats.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Although that's not really doable on Bedrock, but it'd be nice if it was. But yeah, I like that idea. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, randomize the biome from the zombie villagers. Why not? Kind of undoes everything that Maihck's been working hard to do.
Yeah, it kind of undoes everything that they're doing, but
well, it doesn't actually, because you've only got one, and if you wanted to breed it, you'd still have to take it to the right biome to breed it, right? In order to get the new ones to the right one. So
yeah, but what do you really need to breed it though? If you get you put down the right workstation, it's automatically librarian, and we already know that the master trade's going to be mending. So
yeah, but you only got one, unless you want more. I don't think that's a bad. I think that's okay. I think that's fine.
Okay, instead of the way that they went about this, they could have just made the trades lockout instead of for like a once a day, like a week.
Yeah, just lock the trades up more regularly. Yeah. I do like the fact.
But then again,
go on.
Then again, that little thing that we know from the secret Discord's now gone public.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember what I was going to say now. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Right, okay, yeah. Umechan. Hi, Foxy and Slack. I love the podcast. My wish list idea is to add more deterrent mechanics to animals, much like how cats deter creepers from approaching. For example, chickens deter spiders, but more than one chicken. 3 chickens minimum, maybe. I just would like to see more reasons to collect different animal mobs. And of course, we all know pandas deter sadness. Lol. Do they?
Ouch.
I don't think they're like 3 chickens. I know spiders are big in Minecraft, but that would be probably a lot of calculating that the game had to do unnecessarily. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like a chicken would scare off a spider. The problem there is that, like, cats you can sit down, dogs you can sit down. Although I think, don't foxes deter skeletons as well? And you can't sit them down.
I'm not sure on that one.
They deter something. I know there is another animal in Minecraft that deters something else. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I don't know what would deter what, but yeah, it just adds to more gameplay, doesn't it? More interesting ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Next, we got Maihck up again, and they say give Elder Guardians a high to guaranteed chance to drop an enchanted trident when killed. No.
Don't need to. Drowns drop like you don't want enchanted. You don't need an enchanted trident. In fact, you don't want one because you want to get impaling 5 on it, which is going to be impossible after the new update. Thank you, Murian. Let's just go into that, shall we? So none of the new librarians have any trident enchantments that we know of, unless there's something coming in the new update, because it does seem like a weird thing for them to have missed out. Maybe we're going to have underwater villagers that do underwater things like tridents. Who knows? Anyway, they don't. So the only way you can get impaling 5 on your trident is now with an enchanting table. And the only way that's going to work is if you don't get loyalty, or you don't get channeling, or you don't get something else that affects it that's going to cause problems with your trident farm. So bit of a problem for us Bedrock people. But yeah, on Bedrock, we got, I only use an axe. I don't use a sword, and I get more tridents from drowns than anything else. So I really don't think we need an Elder Guardian trident drop.
Yeah,
no,
definitely not.
Maybe one of the reasons they're reducing the number of book trades is because they are adding a whole bunch more villagers, and there's going to be a whole bunch more enchantment slack. Maybe this is going to be the even more enchantments update.
The water village that gives you those. Well, then what could the Nether village offer us?
Fire Sticks, though, so you can watch Amazon Prime. Instead of doing a deal with NVIDIA for RTX, they're doing one with Amazon, right?
I'm done. I'm done.
And you get a Fire Stick from your Nether Villager, and you plug it in, and you can watch Prime inside of Minecraft. Perfect. Yes, please. Like it. Gabberty says, gentlemen, add levels to the Wandering Trader from novice to master. When one shows up, his level will be random, the master being the rarest. Higher levels provide better trade. No, there's no improving the Wandering Trader's trades to make it better. No, just get rid of him. I know we fixed him, didn't we? We made him do, I can't remember. It's in the good idea.
He's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bouncyball's up next and says, critical hits happen when you jump. So what if critical hits did more damage based off of how far you fell? Just an interesting idea. I don't know if it's even possible. So you want to be able to like Superman punch somebody.
Yeah, like if you dropped off a cliff with a sword right on top of something and hit it at the right time, it would do just like a ridiculous amount of damage. And they are calculating fall damage based on the height that you've fallen from. So I don't see that being a problem. I kind of like that idea.
Well, instead of tying it to a weapon, tie it to your boots and like have it be like crushing blow or something. So I can just jump on mobs from a cliff.
Jump on them like Mario style.
Yeah.
Squash them.
Yeah, you either get crushing blow or feather falling.
I don't think we want any more enchantments on our boots after the video we did this week, Slack. Do you?
Okay, then add it to the pants, and I don't even know what to call it now. I still like crushing blow.
Yeah, I do like that, but I just think it's a nice simple idea that the higher you are, the more damage it does. If you're dropping on something and hitting it, I think that's good, rather than bouncing on its head. So
I want a superhero landing that does damage. Okay,
you land on the ground and a dust circle comes out around you, and the ground shakes, and everything's stunned. Yeah. The creepers can't move for a second.
Yeah. There you go. Shockwave.
Pound.
Ground pound. There we go. Yeah. Ground pound. I like it. Make it so.
Okay, good idea. Ground pound. Enchantment. Totally not what they asked for, but that's what you get him. Okay, Okram says, using an anvil to apply enchantments makes no sense. You rub the book on your sword? There's an enchanting table that detects bookshelves around. There's a lectern and chisel bookshelves. Let us put multiple enchanted books on the chisel bookshelf and lectern to apply them to the enchanting table. That makes more sense than the anvil. And since they're messing with all the trades, give us a way to be more efficient in applying enchantments. We've said this before, Okram. That was my idea that we twisted from someone else's one previously, and I think that's a great idea. I don't know why Slack doesn't like it, but yeah, why not? Makes perfect sense. Like, you could have multiple enchantment rooms. Like, okay, I've got all the books in here that's going to give me really good one for a helmet. I've got all the books in here that's going to be really good enchantments for my sword. I love that idea, especially if books are going to be more rare.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Okay, all right. I don't like the ideal of it with the chiseled bookshelf. I just call me weird. But if you had a enchanting table set up, so now you're talking of having multiple enchantments. You can't use the same table, okay? And you got it with, like, say, some bookshelves around it and a lectern, like, in the position, and it's got mending there.
I think the chiseled bookshelves just make sense, like, since they're there and you can put books in them.
No. I like the idea of doing something with the lectern, but the lectern could keep the book, but maybe it costs X amount.
No,
maybe it costs X amount, but it never burns the book.
We've already got the law there. The enchantment table takes from bookshelves and takes the enchantments from those bookshelves. So we know that's how it works. Now that we actually have the ability to put specific enchantments into bookshelves, it makes sense. It's the obvious step forward. I know you don't like that for some reason, but it makes the most sense, and it's the most simple solution. And if books are going to be more rare, it's not OP.
Still don't like it.
Okay. Well, it's not going in the good ideas bin then, because Slack doesn't like it, but I guarantee you that's what Maihck are going to do next, because it just makes sense. They've got to fix enchanting. They have to fix enchanting.
I agree. Enchanting needs a rework. I just don't like that way of doing it.
That's going in Fox's secret good ideas bin with the sticky redstone that Slack doesn't know about. It's not published anywhere. It's not online, but I know it's in here.
And Gabberty's up next and says, gentlemen, add a potion of
Camaraderie.
What in the world? Camaraderie. That when used on a hostile mob becomes your ally and starts attacking other hostile mobs in the area. Could be used for some cool mob farms. Thoughts?
I said more of a potion of confusion, isn't it?
Yeah. I like the idea of a potion of confusion.
Yeah. They got that in lots of games. Zelda had that, and muddle something or other. You can hit an enemy with it and it turns against the other enemies.
Betrayed Alliance, Betrayal, something like that. That'd be cool. Put that on a bow. Put it on a crossbow.
It's a tipped arrow. Yeah.
I like that.
Potions and tipped arrows.
Yeah. Yeah. We totally took your idea and changed it to something else better. Just saying.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing. We just give it a different name.
And giving it range instead of,
Yeah. Okay, Gavity's back. Gentlemen, what about adding a recipe for a powder keg? Fill full grid of gunpowder. Then can be used in the recipe to make TNT stronger, perhaps, or of a different color. The number of powder kegs used in a TNT recipe determines the strength of the blast. They already use this mechanic with rockets and flight duration. Would love to use this to more swiftly mine through into mountains.
Yes.
Stronger TNT.
Yes. Craftable. You can make it stronger.
I don't like the idea of a powder keg.
Okay, then just make TNT have multiple crafting recipes like it does with the rockets.
Yeah, which is difficult because it takes up the whole crafting grid. So I'm imagining you put a piece of TNT that already made TNT in the middle and surround it by gunpowder to give it the next level.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so stronger TNT, surround by gunpowder for next level.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Would it have a different color? Would it be like yellow TNT and green TNT, or does it not matter?
Maybe you could put like a caution tape around it or something to signify it's stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like white, yellow and black stripes along it. Oh, this is really powerful. Big exclamation mark above it when you place it. Look out.
Yeah. I like this. I really like this.
Yeah. I don't like this from a griefing point of view, but I really like this from a safe worlds gameplay point of view.
Yes, exactly. I love it for the idea of digging out big areas. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Right. Who's next? Maihck again.
Maihck again. It says a ghost gear slot that allows a compass recovery compass or clock to be equipped. Right below Gavity's?
Oh, well, wrist gear slot. Sorry, I thought you said something else. It's fine. I'm not listening to you, Slack. Try again.
That's fine. I don't listen to you half time when you talk anyway, so it's fine. That's what we do.
Pardon?
Anyways, a wrist gear slot that allows a compass, recovery compass, or a clock to be equipped. It is displayed next to the paper doll when it is visible, i.e. crouching or flying. I don't like the idea of it being displayed by the paper doll.
No.
I wouldn't mind if, down on...
Or even at the
maybe
top.
even up by the coordinates. Maybe by the coordinates.
Yeah, or what if at the top of the screen... There's nothing at the top of the screen, is there? What if at the top of the center of the screen there was a compass bar? Like if you're holding a compass, like they had a bar, and when you turn around, you got north, south, east, and west on there. That would be kind of cool.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
That feels like that should be doable.
You can't add things onto the screen, can you? You can with the GUI thing, but it's so janky, you wouldn't be able to add anything moving like that. You could do it with a weird entity floating in front of you, kind of, but it wouldn't be good. It'd be janky on Bedrock. Really janky.
Still like the idea of that.
I like the idea
especially
of that.
For a clock.
Yeah.
I like that for a clock because on
with
Slack
the time on it?
We don't play with one player sleep.
So how would that work? How would you see the clock on it then? So would it change to just like a time of day bar instead?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have a sun at one end and a moon at the other end, and there would be just a progress bar going across.
Yeah, I like that. Kind of like how you've got your experience bar. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're solved.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yep.
Me as John with 2 good ideas apparently. And number 1, instead of having thorns enchanted books, have guardians drop actual thorns that you could craft with your armor to add those thorns enchantments. Maybe get pieces of thorns that you craft together and add to the armor. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind getting rid of the thorns book and actually crafting thorns from other things, because then you've also got the goat horn, which is kind of a thorn, and I'm sure we could find spiky things from other mobs that would...
Can we put little spikes on the armor then? Like if it's shoulders and it's got thorns, it gets little spikes coming out?
Well, number 2 idea is, would be nice if armor visually had thorns on them. Toes, boots, knees of armor, shoulders, chest plate, above the ears, a helmet or mohawk.
Yeah.
I think that is good, because one of the problems with the Thorns enchantment is if you're PvPing, you don't know if someone's got it. And if you hit them and you're low on health, you can end up dead because you don't know they've got it and you would know. So I think a visual representation of thorns is a really good idea. And I like the idea that you craft them onto your armor. So I'm going to say good idea on both of those, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, I like them both.
Brilliant. I didn't think you would. I thought you'd hate that idea. I'm surprised, but...
No. Just because I don't PvP and stuff like that doesn't mean I don't know how. No. I used to play nothing but Anarchy servers.
I just think that's quite a modded thing that we've added to the good ideas bin, but it just kind of makes sense.
No, I like it. I genuinely, I like that. I'm totally fine with that.
Good.
Praetor is up next and says, time for a wish or a new wish. Get rid of glistening melon. Yes, it's the key ingredient for instant health potions, but absolutely no one knows this, and it's also useless as a food.
Everyone knows it because the only way people know potions is with the wiki or some add-on, some like crafting, not what's it called, resource pack add-on. So everyone knows it. You can't say no one knows it. Everyone knows that.
And how about instead of getting rid of it, make it edible and make it worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah, just not as quite as good as golden carrots, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
So less hunger, but more saturation. So can you remember when we looked at the saturation of foods and the golden carrot and golden apples had supernatural saturation, right? But whereas beef just had really good. So give it supernatural saturation, but just only does one hunger hunch or something.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Yeah, I'd probably use it, to be honest.
Yeah. Food, low hunger, high saturation.
Yep.
There we go. Good idea. Okay, Rotated Owl Face is back with some more things, saying a suggestion for discussion. So not so much of a wish list, but more of a wish that we would discuss something by the sounds of things. With the changes to villager trades and obtaining of enchanted books and gear, how about making enchanted books copyable in a similar manner to smithing templates, but not with diamonds? Copying them would still need to have a cost, and you'd still need to do the grind of going to every biome to get the initial books as Maihck intended. What say you white podcasters? Personally,
you can already copy them by going to a villager and getting another one with emeralds. There's your cost.
If you make them duplicatable, all of a sudden, all of that effort you've gone through to move those villagers to new biomes and breed new villagers and make a little trading hall is totally wasted. You've just gone to that area and you've created something and you're leaving it. And what's the point?
That's literally what a villager is. It's a copying machine.
Yeah, it's a enchanted book duplicator.
You pay it currency, it gives you back the exact same thing again.
Yeah, and now I think we already do have in the good ideas bin, actually. I think we do have some sort of duplication of enchanted books. I can't remember in there somewhere, but we did have a different reason
somewhere.
For that. But yeah. I don't know. Today, I'm saying no. Sorry.
The Praetor is up next and says, let minecarts with hoppers deposit items into barrels with rails over them, same as furnaces. Do they not? That feels like a bug.
What, if a minecart hopper goes over a furnace, it doesn't drop the items in, it has to go over a hopper. A minecart minecart doesn't put items into a furnace when it goes over a rails.
Right. Okay, I get what they're asking for. They're asking for the hopper minecarts going over barrels to automatically drop in.
Yeah. Yeah, and the same with furnaces and chests and things like that. That's not how they work. They're sucking stuff in from the top. They're not a hopper that pushes stuff out. They're a container that sucks items in. So that would be good, because that would mean that your furnace arrays and things like that could be a lot smaller, because you wouldn't need that row of hoppers going around the back. But I think it does kind of make sense because it's a hopper.
Yeah. Yeah, as a hopper, it is a portable hopper, so it feels like that should work.
Yeah.
And now for some reason, I want dispensers and minecarts.
Pew, 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 pew. Arrows going along track.
Yeah. Fire charges.
Fire charges. Okay, so let's have a good idea with the hopper thing, because I think that is a good idea. Okay. That just makes sense to me. That. And then a good idea, dispenser minecarts.
Yeah, dispenser minecarts. I like that.
Yeah, why not? Go around just spitting out stuff as it's going along the track. That would be cool. Imagine that would be really good, actually, because you could invent some crazy contraptions. Like if you had hoppers in certain places, you spit out certain items in certain places with the dispenser. Oh, that could be really interesting. I don't know how it would work, but I'm sure some clever people could come up with some good ideas.
Oh, you could have all kinds of fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
I don't know why I want that all of a sudden, but I do.
Umechan is back saying, "Hi, Foxy and Slack. It would be nice if we had the option to hide armor so I can just have my skin always on. After getting over the initial moment of seeing my netherite with the trim, I'd rather see my character with the skins I purchased." Do you know what? A lot of people use that. I think you even use that, Slack, don't you, as a resource pack?
Yep.
I think...
Yeah, I don't hide all my armor. I just hide my helmet. Yep.
I think that is essential personally at this point, because the marketplace stuff that you can buy, speaking of which, I've got a bunch of stuff on there now. It's called persona items. They're in the dressing room. So you can buy like a big monster head or like a facial thing, like a mask or some googly eyes or a runny nose and things like that. And you can put them on. As soon as you put a helmet on, they disappear. Because because they go outside the bounding box. So I think the ability to have just an aesthetic toggle on your armor. No, don't show my armor. I think that should be a thing.
Oh. I have a really dumb idea.
But it should be a game mode, so that because in PvP you need to know if someone's wearing armor.
But I have a dumb idea for this.
Go on.
Use a cauldron, put a potion of invisibility in there, and dip your armor in it.
No, I don't think that's good.
And then
for
if you
PvP.
want it off, you can just wash it off.
Still
have to get a potion of invisibility.
You do. But then, how long does it last for?
I don't know.
I think that just needs to be a game mode.
It stays on there.
I really do. I think, or even like a personal. Oh no, because then you want other people to be able to see it. Let's say you could have that as, you got the only allow trusted skins toggle. You could have a show armor toggle in your video settings.
Well, I don't see what that hurts. If somebody on a PvP server thinks that they're about to get the drop on somebody because they think they don't have armor on, and then all of a sudden you get wrecked because they are actually in full netherite, that's your fault.
No, it's not your fault. I don't agree with that. I think if you see someone not wearing armor and you've got a little bit of armor, you feel like you've got the advantage, you're going to take a risk.
Okay, so what if it doesn't make it 100% invisible, just makes it transparent where you can still see your skin? I'm trying to think of an example in game, but I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
I'm almost imagining, how in some games and even in some Minecraft mods, they've got like a little bar above their head with the amount of health they've got. Maybe like a little armor icon with a value next to it to show how much value armor they've got under the name.
I could accept that trade-off.
Yeah, so if you turn off visible armor, then it shows you above the player's head, their name, the armor value that they're wearing.
I like how Mike said it could still show the glint, even though the armor would be invisible. Oh, something to think about.
The bounding box is underneath.
I can tell you're not sold on it.
Yeah, no, it's just to do with the bounding boxes and things. I just think, there needs to be a way you can see it visually. I think you need to have that for PvP. Otherwise, it's not fair.
Lucy just said like a occupancy slider, like how you could change your hotbar to be 100% visible or like 10%. Or something.
It doesn't matter how opaque it is. Like if you've got a massive monster head on from the marketplace, your helmet's inside it. It doesn't matter how invisible your helmet is.
Yeah, true. That's fair. Yeah.
So,
I don't like the idea that then it would have to be toggleable on a personal level only. It wouldn't be for everybody.
I think that's the way you'd have to do it. Rather than having it per world, I think you'd have to have it just in your settings, toggle it on or off. And then at least
that puts you in the exact same situation though, where if it's a setting, then everybody in that world's going to appear that way to you.
Yeah, which is why then if you toggled it off, it shows you how much armor they've got above their head.
Yeah, but that puts you back to the same situation if somebody's far away from you on a PvP server. And now all of a sudden, Oh, it doesn't look like they're wearing armor. It puts the same situation back in the reverse.
I think that what we need to say here is we know, that something needs to be done, but it needs to be maybe just a world game mode then. So on PvP servers, you just say no. If you've got armor on, you've got armor on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if we're going to add in the whole thorns visible as part of the armor.
World game rule toggle. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the only way that's going to work. So you either everybody sees the same thing or they don't.
Oh, excuse me here. Oh.
Hey, no falling asleep.
So we got Muffin up next. And they said add netherwart or blaze rods to cleric trade tables.
Well, technically they're already in there, aren't they? But the other way around, or is it just netherwart? You can sell them netherwart to get emeralds or something. Is that true? Or have I made that up?
You can get netherwart. Netherwart's not necessarily a big problem. It's still the blaze rods.
Well, netherwart
you can't.
You still got to go to a fortress to get netherwart.
Yeah, but if you're playing in peaceful, you still get netherwart. It's still going to be there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just,
yeah.
You can still obtain it. It's unobtainable.
Yeah,
the blaze rods and peaceful.
Well, we fixed blaze rods last week with having it all available in the cleric, blaze powder at least. The brewing stands. That doesn't help people get end rods though, unless they're going to go to the end and get them from the end cities. So you can't craft end rods without a blaze rod. So maybe that should be added to the cleric's trade table. But I was going to say, I think all trades, and call me crazy, but I think all villager trades should be reversible. I think you should be able to buy or sell.
Yeah, that would make them really have to focus on balance then on it.
Yeah. So are we having that? I mean, as a good idea what they've said and then my one?
Yeah, because I'd take 42 emeralds and trade for diamond blocks all day long.
Yeah, forgot about that one. You'd have to remove that one, I think. But I'd take the iron one. All trades reversible.
I mean, build you a raid farm, then get all the emeralds you want, and then go get all the diamonds you want.
Yeah, no, I don't think... to be honest with you, I do think that iron and the diamond trade for emeralds is still OP. I think it still is, especially if they're reversible. So you'd have to take those out, or you'd have to you'd have to make some decisions, wouldn't you? But yeah. Maybe it would be a different price, right? So, like when you go to a shop on Starfield or something, if you sell this weapon, you're going to get 10 emeralds for it. But if you want to buy this weapon, it's going to cost you 4,000.
Oh, so GameStop.
Yeah, basically. Oh, speaking of which, oh no. So I went to was having a clear out. I talked about this last week on the bonus show. Having a clear out, and I basically got all my old DVDs, all my old games, got a whole bunch of stuff. I took them down to CEX. It's actually called Sex, but I'm not allowed to say that. But yeah, CEX, and I went to trade it in. And there must have been over 100 DVDs, about 30 or 40 games for different things. And I basically gave him all. And he scanned everything. It took absolutely ages. Scanned it all in. And I got about £130 for it all. But it turns out that all of the DVDs, every single one, whether it was a box set or a recent one or an old one, I got a penny each. A penny each for each DVD. And even some of the old Xbox 360 games was a penny each. I think the only money I got was for my Nintendo Switch games, my old ones. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. But at least they're gone off my shelf now. But geez. So I tried to take them to charity. Charity didn't want them. Not the games, the DVDs. Charity didn't. No, we don't want DVDs. So, okay, I'll go sell them then. So, penny each. 100 DVDs for £1. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Just, no.
Yeah. Jazer says, renewable sand via obsidian and grindstone. Sand is basically tiny pieces of silica or glass, so it would make sense that grinding down obsidian would receive sand. Should not be 1 obsidian to 1 sand ratio, but 1 obsidian to 64 sand seems overpowered, maybe 1 to 16. This would make obsidian/lava farms more interesting and reduce the reliance on sand dupers. I think renewable sand should be a thing, personally.
Yeah, I think renewable sand should be a thing. And I don't like the idea of doing it with obsidian.
Yeah, that seems a bit weird.
And your reliance on sand dupers That's a personal choice. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but people do turn to things like that when there isn't an alternative gameplay option. So you have to look at stuff like that.
You still have a choice. You still have a choice. You can go mine it. It may not be fun.
But if people are doing it and still enjoying the game, is it a bad thing to have renewable sand?
No, I'm fine with renewable sand. I've come up with ways that I want renewable sand. I just don't like this way.
Something like in modded, you have those sieves, and the sieves, you like put dirt in it and you get a bit of gravel out, and sometimes you get a bit of sand, something like that. I'd rather have something like that than use the grindstone.
Well, we've covered this one before because we wanted ways if you're using like an enchantment to break down cobble, and then it would give you this and that.
Yeah, Silk Touch would give you the block back, but we said just normal pickaxes would break it down to the next level. So cobblestone would be turned into gravel, stone turns into cobblestone turns into gravel turns into dust,
sand, sand, whatever.
Yeah. So I think renewable sand, we definitely need it, but I'm not sure that's the best way of going about Jesus. So it's not going in the good ideas bin, although we have a bunch of good ideas today. Jeez. We've been very good lately, Slack. I think we need to be a bit more harsh again. Jeez.
Okay, let's see what Muffin's
do you know what this is?
Let's see if I can get rude.
This is the fact that we're both wishing Minecraft had more at the moment, and we're both suffering from lack of good updates. So we're just putting everything in the good ideas bin. Please give me something to stick my teeth into.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, next.
All right. Muffin says, not my idea. I saw it posted somewhere, but I think it's a good one. We should be able to eat and walk at the same time.
Yeah. Why do you slow down when you're eating? You don't do that in real life, do you? It's like, oh, hold on a minute. That's weird. I can eat a sausage roll on the go.
Oh, I want Greg's now.
I'm putting good idea. What do you think, Slack?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Yeah.
We just said we needed to be harder with the good ideas. Okay. Well, here's one we can stink our teeth into. We've got another book from Essifer. You ready, Slack? The last block update.
This is a book.
I suggested quicksand and basically brown powdered snow. Foxy pictures something different when he read it, and his version is much better. Here is Quicksand Take 2. It's a bit of a book, but I blame Foxy for inspiring me. Don't blame other people. Take responsibility for your actions, bud. Sand is like water, except things sink instead of floating. It flows like water and can move entities. The flow speed is the same as lava in the overworld. It's allowed in the nether, but still flows at the speed of lava in the overworld. It fills like water, infinite quicksand source. Ponds can be found naturally in the desert, on beaches, or near jungle temples, and they are always exposed to the surface. Source blocks are not gravity blocks. Unlike water, there is no quicksand logged. Source blocks can be converted to sand using dripstone. It can be made in a cauldron by added sand to water and can only be removed in a bucket. Frostwalker could have some fun side effects with quicksand as well, but this book doesn't need 2 chapters, thanks. Did we not put quicksand in last week? I thought we did.
Pretty sure we didn't.
I don't like the fact that you can have an infinite quicksand source. I think that's stupid. No offense, SFR, but I think it sounds very OP block, and I don't think it should be infinite.
No, I don't like the fact that you can use. I know this one's going to sound so contradicting as a content creator and a technical Minecrafter. I don't like the idea of something that can move items in the nether.
Why?
That? I don't like it. It's a challenge with the nether farms to make them work already, and you're just wanting to put an easy mode in there, and I don't like it. No. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't like this. It moves items like a water source, but flows at the speed of lava. No, I don't. No.
Yeah. No, sorry, Esfer. Stop going in. Sorry, bud. Okay, right. That is it for the wish list. If you have a wish that you would like to be added to Minecraft, then we absolutely 100% guarantee that any wish that you make that gets into the good ideas bin will eventually make it into the game, unless it doesn't, or the game, just does. Maybe it won't have time to get in. Maybe it'll happen eventually. I promise. But one day, but not. The game might stop being developed before it does, but it will. Okay. Yeah, so fill in the feedback form on the website or join the Discord and let us know in there. It is time for our final round, which is the question section.
Hmm. Yeah, it starts off with Maribel Jade here. It says, if you could have one movie, TV show, comic from your childhood turned into a video game, what would it be? Pretty sure they've all already happened.
Yeah, but they're all rubbish, aren't they?
Nothing.
TV and movie video games are always bad. Name, I bet there's probably one good one out there. Like Batman games are pretty good, the Arkham games. But name one good game that's come from a movie or TV show or a comic. There isn't any. It'd be amazing to have an actual good superhero game that's not Batman, but they just don't exist.
Now you got me really trying to think of one, and I can't.
There's been loads. Jeez. I don't know. I really don't know. South Park, that was a good game that came from a TV show. That was The Stick of Truth was a really good game. I never actually played much of it, but it's still been like sold really heavily now. It's been out for years.
Watchful, that's valid. And the live chat, Watchful said Spider-Man games.
Yeah, the latest Spider-Man games have been fantastic. In fact, I'm very much looking forward to Spider-Man 2 coming out. I'm really fingers crossed hoping that the PS5 Slim comes out at the same time, because I need a PS5 to play it. But yeah, okay, Spider-Man and Batman then. What other games have been good? But that's not the question. The question is if we could have one of our favorite movie / TV show / comics. See, I'm gonna blow all of your minds now. I didn't read comics as a kid. I've never, ever, ever in my entire life read a comic that's not the Beano. I had the Beano. You won't know what the Beano is from America. It's basically Dennis the Menace and a bunch of other things. I never had a single superhero comic. I've never read a single superhero comic. I've never owned one or looked at one or even But that said, my downstairs toilet is filled with thousands of them in hardback copies because a friend of mine decided he was going to subscribe to a service that did these Marvel like hardback comic special edition things. He said there was only like 10 in the series, and he was in the RAF, so he had them all posted to my house. And he forgot to cancel the subscription, and there's like 100 of these comics all still in the wrappers that I've never even opened, that I'd just stored, and I need him to take them, but he won't take them. So I've got them. I've never read a superhero comic in my life.
I've got a massive collection of comics, and a massive collection of Magic the Gathering cards, and a massive collection of baseball, basketball, football cards. But I never bought those. Those were things that like my grandparents bought me like all the time. They would come in these tubes just filled with them. There's so many of those things around here. I've never even opened them. 90% of them have never even been opened. It never was my thing.
When I was young, they just didn't exist. You go to even now, you go to the supermarket, like magazine section and comic section, and there's like kiddie magazines and like the Beano or the Dandy, but there's no superhero comics. And we don't have comic book stores in the UK. Certainly, well, not where I live. Maybe there is in London, but there certainly wasn't when I was growing up. So, yeah. So I don't know.
I can't. Bringing it into a game just doesn't sound as fun. Now, movies into game or games into movies sometimes works, sometimes it hasn't. Or cartoons into movies, but you're wanting to take it into a game. I honestly, I know it'll probably hit me at 3:00 in the morning when I'm laying in bed, but I can't think of one thing that I would enjoy as a game that hasn't already been made into a game that's just been horrible for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. Like you go back far enough, then there was the Mickey Mouse games, they were awful. Aladdin game, they were awful. You know, all those old like Disney movie games were awful. Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out recently wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great. So, and then there's like things like Marvel Snap and all that sort of rubbish. I don't know. Sorry, Jade. I honestly don't know. I don't think I'd want any of my favourite stuff to come out as a game. Oh, I'll tell you what, Harry Potter. That game was amazing. Sorry for all of you people that hate J.K. Rowling and hate any mention of the world Harry Potter, but I was born and raised with Harry Potter. I loved it, loved the books. Don't have an opinion on the politics of it because it's a bad thing to have. So I just enjoy the game because it was made by people that weren't J.K. Rowling and thoroughly enjoyed it. That was a good game.
Let's see, Screen Rant. I'm literally Googling. I'm just like...
I'm gonna ask the next question because I don't think we know on that one.
Hold on. I just seen one in here that made me think. Has there been a Terminator game?
Yep. They were awful. There's a new RoboCop game coming out soon as well, apparently. That's going to be awful. Yeah, there's been Aliens games. They were awful. There's not been good games from TV shows. And the reason is, even though these films and TV shows and comics made millions, they don't put the money into the games because they think it's an easy sell. Like Minecraft Legends. Oh, it's got the Minecraft name. Easy sell. Don't need to put depth and effort into the game. We'll just make any old trash and people will buy it.
Oh, GoldenEye was a pretty good one.
Yeah, GoldenEye was very good for its time, to be fair. But the other James Bond games weren't good. They were bad.
Been horrible. Yeah.
There have been some, but let's be honest, there've been a lot of games that have come from comics, TV shows, and movies, and they haven't been good.
Yeah, sorry, Jade, I can't think of nothing that...
No. Whitebush says, with Maihck pushing hard into changing nerfing villager trades, do you think they will alter existing villagers and or their trades? No, I think your villagers that exist in your world will stay exactly the same. I think it will only affect new worlds.
Yeah, I agree on that. Don't think it's... No, because that would almost be world-breaking.
Yeah, I don't see how they could do it. But don't forget, we've already been through this once. And so we already have version 1 villagers, which you can still get in some worlds if you fiddle with the data packs and things, or behavior packs. And
it's like the old Pigman too, yeah. Yeah,
and we've now got version 2 villagers, so it'll just be version 3 villagers. So your version 2 villagers will stay exactly the same. They'll probably be full of bugs, but they should stay exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barenzo is up next and says, when you're recording with Oliver, which I love, what is the world difficulty set to? Just curious how much better he is than my kids.
Easy. It's set to easy. Yeah. Yeah, if I did it any harder, I don't think he'd have much of a good time, to be honest with you. I'm so tempted to do that. Remember we've talked about that like proper peaceful pack where it's basically
passive, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that's his biggest problem, is just being killed by enemies. But then he's playing on like controller or iPad. It is a lot harder on there. He's young. He's so. See, I like the idea of that too, because then he sees something and he decides to hit it. Then he learns that it's not always a good idea to hit things because they might start hitting back. Yeah, and bless him, he was also playing with no sound as well because he was on the console on the TV. He couldn't have any sound. He couldn't have headphones because it would be the headphones don't reach and it would pick up everything through the microphone. So it was at a real disadvantage. Bless him. Jeez. Okay. Mossy says, I've just started on a new server and got it in my head. I don't want to use villagers this season, but XP is being hard to come by. What early game system for XP would you recommend? Really early game, I'd just get a spawner, double spawner if possible. And then I would push very, very hard to try and make a simple Guardian farm. They're not that difficult to make, even early game, like a simple one. You only need a couple of their pods. You need a bunch of blocks to block up their spawning spots, and then you just need a couple of pods. You get tons of XP from it.
Yep. Doesn't get much easier than that, to be honest.
No, not really. Okay. Next Slack.
Stone Ostrich is up next and says, was everybody able to see with their mind's eyes the visibility described in the TB Discord, and did it bring a smile to your face? What?
Break the week data again. What? On break with weak data again? Was everyone able to see with their mind's eye the visual NI described in the TB Discord? I have no idea what you're talking about, Stone Ostrich. Sorry.
Yep, none.
Don't often read the Truly Bedrock Discord, particularly the general chat, I have to admit. I have no idea what you're about.
I've got it muted. I'll be honest.
Sorry. Guyver says, what would you be interested in looking at an add-on with enchanted book recipes? What would you be interested in looking at an add-on with enchanted book recipes? Pardon?
Ground pound. I don't know.
I don't understand
they're
the
asking
question.
If you could add enchantments, what would you want to add? I think. I don't know.
I think they're asking me if I want to make an add-on that does enchanted book recipes. I don't think it's not possible. Can't do it. Can't be done. Okay.
Oh, that watchful guy's up next. It says, when you are hard stuck on the design, build, or redstone project, is there anything you do to motivate yourself to work on the project? Yeah, go play something else.
Push through.
Most of the time I have to walk away.
Yeah. See, I only do stuff like that really. Well, not redstone, but I only do stuff like that with designs and builds on live streams really. So I just push through for the sake of the live stream or go and do something else. Yeah. Don't push yourself into doing something you don't want to do. You can motivate you can definitely motivate yourself to do things. But if you're finding something difficult, the more you push yourself to do it, the harder it's going to be. So just wait till you've naturally found that inspiration and motivation by doing something else.
Yeah, typically, most of the time it's just doesn't work if you force it.
Guy has corrected himself saying, would you be interested in looking at an add-on? You've got to be. I'm interested in looking at lots of things, squirrels, dolphins, the garden, the moon. Give me some more context.
Balrog is up next and says, oh no, it's you, isn't it? Yep.
Any sneak peeks, hints at the next add-on that you'll be making, Foxy? I did have a list full. I haven't got any plans to make any at the moment, but I'm sure more will come out. I don't have I did have a list of things that I wanted to do, but I don't generally just be like, oh, I'm going to make this one next. Whatever comes next.
Balrog, don't depend on anything for the next 2 weeks except Starfield.
Yeah, and probably longer.
Just putting that out there.
Okay.
Irish Viking is up next. Yep, Irish Viking is up. Have you thought about doing farm tutorials again? Not these are massive rates like Silent does, but this is good enough for you or a couple of people. I think we kind of answered that earlier in this.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have, because you're starting to do that every Monday. I've absolutely thought about it, but I think my biggest dilemma at the moment, my biggest issue is that I'm spinning too many plates, and I feel like I need to let a few of the plates drop and just keep the ones that I'm passionate about and the ones that are working for me spinning. And then when I'm comfortable with that, then start picking up new plates, if that makes sense. I don't know where I need to be. So
yeah, I agree.
I've got marketplace, podcast, my Duckshot channel. I've got streams to do. We've got Truly Bedrock streams. We've got myth busting. We've got challenge stuff. We've got stuff with Oliver. We've got add-on videos. I've got Truly the tutorial videos. I've got there's so many things. I'd love to do tutorials again because they do make content, but as soon as I switch from one thing to another, the other things just fall on the floor. I need to decide. I need to make some serious decisions on what's important and what's not, and just drop everything else. And that's the scary thing to do, because I don't know what's important and I don't know what's going to keep me afloat. It would be really easy to just say, I'm dropping Truly Bedrock, I'm dropping myth busting, I'm dropping this, and I'm just going to do tutorials, or I'm dropping everything, I'm just going to do myth bustings, or I'm dropping everything, I'm just going to do Truly Bedrock. But they're all really scary decisions to make. But with me dotting around all of those different things, it's not helping me at all. So I don't know the answer. And to be honest with you, and I haven't spoken about this to anyone ever, but there's a lot of times I just think I'm going to jack the whole thing in and just do marketplace content because it's the only stable source of income I have. And it's a good income if I can focus on it. But I don't focus on it, and I don't make any money from it because of that. Or I make a bit, but I don't make anywhere near as much as I could if I actually focused on it. I'm not going to do it, but if you took emotion and history and not context, but if you took all of the feelings out of everything and you just looked at the black and white, that's what any sensible person on the outside that didn't know me or didn't have a history or didn't have any, like, what's the word? When something's valuable to you from your past, didn't have any nostalgia, I guess, maybe, didn't have any of that. They would look at that and go, you should just be doing marketplace stuff. Why are you fanning about making videos? They're not earning you any money. They're taking up all your time. What are you doing that for? Well, I'm doing it for the people that enjoy watching my videos. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. Is it going to help you going ahead? You're getting older. You're nearly 40. You need to think about retirement. What are you going to get what are you going to live on in the future? Well, that's the future. Well, you're nearly there, mate. What are you going to do? And, any sensible person in the right mind, financial advisor, an entrepreneur would look at me and go, you're mental trying to do all of these things. Just focus on that. And they'd be right.
Yeah, as far as the analytics on my channel go, the smart thing for me to do would just be tutorials.
Yeah.
Technical stuff.
So,
but I enjoy the Let's Plays. I enjoy the stuff. I enjoy still playing Minecraft, even though you hear me complain about it a lot. I still enjoy it. But maybe that's where I need to. It's the same decisions you face, dude. Yep. It's need something different. I don't know.
You don't. You need to focus. You need to decide what you need to do. And like I say, I'm not going to stop making my videos because I do enjoy doing it, and I want to get my channel to, I don't want to stop before. It's been a long time, and my channel grows so slowly, but I don't want to stop before I've got that play button. I want that first one. It's only 100,000 subscribers. How hard could it be? You see people like Mr. Beardstone just taking off, and Bruno just taking off, and all these other people around you just taking off, and you think, well, I could do that, but I can't because I don't focus. I don't focus, and I don't put the time and the effort that's required into doing it. I cover too many bases at once, and therefore none of it gets my full attention. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yep.
So, what do you think, guys? What do you think? Let me know by writing into this podcast. You can address me at P.O. Box. Foxy No-Tail's a total moron. Jeez, that's it for the questions. If you want to ask us a question, you can do by filling out the feedback form on our website, which is theblockupdate.com, joining the Discord, and the links for both of those are in the description below. Just like to politely remind you that we are supported by Patreon, and if you do that, then there's a strong chance that I might actually earn some money this month. That'd be lovely.
Money's nice. I like money. Money's good.
Yeah,
money pays the bills.
If you go to patreon.com/theblockupdate, that would seriously help us out. Slack, what are you doing this week?
Yes. I don't know. Watchful, what am I doing this week? Putting out videos and occasionally turning on the stream.
Well, I have actually got daily videos on foxynotail.com. What am I on about? Foxy No-Tail.
What are you doing?
We've got daily videos going out on there. 2 days of it. 2 days of video. 2 videos a day going out on Duck Shot. I've had too much of this apple juice, like. And then hopefully I'll be mixing some streams in there as well, because I like to juggle too many things. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. Keep tuned, stay watching. Stay tuned, keep watching.
Oh. Well, on that note, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like down below. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing.
I guess there's all that's left to say is the same thing that I say at the every...
At the end of every episode, and it says, if your apple juice is fizzy, are you sure it's really apple juice?
Yeah, that one. Oh, oh man, it's not that. My mouth is just disconnected from my brain, which would, indicate that it's that, but it's not, because everything else is fine. Jeez. Oh man, what a brilliant exit to it. Oh, now it's just like, let's get this breakfast. Fantastic.
Good job there, Foxy.
Ah, jeez.
Bye.
Bye.